What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 76. I hope everybody's doing well on this fine Tuesday evening, another Tuesday stream. We got a lot of people in the chat already, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people funneling in shortly. We do have two more panel members joining us, so don't you guys worry. Sean will be here, Elaine will be here very shortly. But I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm definitely going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. And we're going to go through and just read everybody's comments. As you can see, starting the panel off with us tonight, we have Chris, the Collecting Madness here. Yeah, Chris had, you should have seen him before the stream. He had this mad dash to, he had some workers at his house. He had a mad dash to like put all of his stuff back
together. They had to replace windows in my whole apartment. So all the, well, not all of them, but this whole half, the cases had to come off. Everything up top came off, and all the figures came out. So I just got it put together like 2 minutes before.
Yeah, I was telling him, I was like, Chris, I was like, just finish it later. He's like, no, and he's over there like trying to get the DeLorean back on the top shelf and everything. But he got it done. Hey, he got it done. So, but thanks so much for being here as always, Chris. And then of course, tonight he's Anakin Litterus. We have Mike, Anakin, whatever he is on, each week. But we appreciate you being here as always, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Anakin can only hang out with us for about an hour tonight, guys, but it should be about around how long we're going to be tonight. Maybe a little bit spill over an hour, but most of the stuff this week was actually from Hot Toys, which is really exciting. So we have four figures to talk about from Hot Toys. So thank you so much for being here as always.
Yeah, happy to be
here. The chosen one is here.
That's right.
But guys, we're gonna say what's up to everybody in the chat. I'll give you a quick update on some things, then we'll get started. Starting us off right, we have Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. Ryan says, do you smell what the Hot Toys Hotline crew is cooking? If you're going to watch, you better drop a like or suffer the most electrifying move in sports entertainment, the people's elbow. Yeah, very fitting, right? Because we're going to talk about Black Adam. And man, I'm really excited to talk about that one because that one really, really surprised me. I think it surprised a lot of us. So cannot wait to talk about that one. But guys, as always, check out Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. We have Payton23 in the house. Payton23 says, good evening. Payton is a channel member and a moderator here. We very much appreciate your support, Payton, as always, and thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And guys, I have a quick update for channel members after I say what's up to everybody because I made a couple changes in your guys' benefit, so I'll definitely let you know very shortly. But thank you so much once again, Ryan and Payton, for being here. We have Hobby Halbert in the house. Hobby says, what's up, my people? What an awesome thumbnail photo. All those figures are totally cool. And I totally agree. Again, what a great week. And there's been like no third-party stuff this week, really. It's just been all Hot Toys. And I said 4 Hot Toys, but really there's been 5, right? Because we had that announcement of the Cayman Rider, which we're not going to talk about tonight, guys. Unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys aren't interested in that at all. A really cool figure, but just, not for me. And it's, in our market here in the U.S., not a lot of people really are interested in it. So I don't want to waste your guys' time because I know a lot of you guys aren't interested in it. Nothing against the figure. I think it looks really badass. Just not my thing.
That's a cool figure. The bike too.
Yeah.
But it's
and they haven't released the Battle Hopper yet. I know a lot of people are like, man, where's my Battle Hopper? Because this is going to actually be. This is a new, for those of you guys who don't know, this is a new Cayman Rider. So there's 2 previous ones in the Battle Hopper, and then you have this new one. So they've been doing a lot for Cayman Rider, and 3-0 has been doing it. So for those of you guys that are fans, I'm sure you guys are very happy with all that licensing going out. Let's see. But thank you so much, Hobby, for being here as always. We have Ehan in the house with the Nightmare Batman photo. Gotta love it. Ehan says, I'm holding out for Return of the Jedi Vader, but this one looks amazing. Now if we could just get a damn Chewie. Well, hey. We talked about the Return of the Jedi stuff a couple streams ago, and I think, you never know what you're going to see at this point. So if Chewie popped up, I would not be shocked after we got that Han Solo. So fingers crossed for all of us that we get that Chewbacca. But thank you so much for being here, as always, Ian. My good friend Cigars and Bacon is here. Cigars says, what's up, party people? What's up to you, bro? Cigars, another moderator here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, bro. I hope you're doing well. Dude, I know you're stoked for that Vader, especially even if you're not, guys, even if you're not picking up that Vader, I think you can appreciate just that cool factor, especially that deluxe with the 2 swap out looks and everything. I think you can appreciate that from afar, even if you're not picking it up. But thank you so much for being here, bro. I appreciate you as always. TK, my boy TK here, moderator on all the platforms at this point. TK has been talking about this Vader nonstop for the past few months. He's like, all right, where's Vader? Where's Vader? Where's Vader? So if anybody is really locked in and excited for this release, I know it's TK. So TK, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Let's see who else we got. Sorry, guys, I'm just scrolling through. TX Boy's in the house. What's up, TX Boy? TX Boy says, yo, what's up, collectors? One of my most anticipated releases for this year by far. And I'm sure you're talking about the Vader. Again, that's a thing that a lot of people are throwing around in perfect timing right as we're getting started. We have Lane, the Midnight Collector here. Lane, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Lane's like,
What's up, Lane?
Dude, I literally just walked in the door like a minute and a half ago.
well, hey, we Lane, we appreciate you just getting right on camera, dude. I think
Yeah, I know.
I was
just
everybody
like,
say what's up to Lane in the chat. Lane, thank you so much for being
Lane
here.
the legend.
Yeah,
Lane,
well,
yeah, we have a little news about Lane today.
where is Big Dog Pound, man, when we need him? Because I mean, I feel like this has got to be like we need to be hearing from Chris.
Oh, he'll
Rhodes.
be here. Don't you worry. If he's not
I
here
know,
yet, I'm
but
still
like we got to
scrolling,
be
but he'll here.
we got to be like start. I mean, with all the like literal some lightning and thunder that has come down in figure form here in the last like 48 hours or so, we like have to have Chris doing a Cody Rhodes like impassioned call out to the crowd, baby, here in the chat.
Well, Lane, right
He lays it
now,
out to us.
because you mentioned his name, he's in the Bat Cave right now. Because you mentioned his name, you know, he's getting called right now. So I promise you, I think he's going to pop in any minute. I'm expecting it soon. I just know he's going to be here.
This is like he pops in like this dude named Gamoya who is always popping in on this other channel that I watch on Friday. It's a statue channel, and like they always give away like PlayStation Network codes, and that guy like 7 out of the last 9 giveaways has won it every single time. Like it's just like it might as well just call.
And
it
he
the
deserves
Gamoya
it too,
box.
man. He's such a good guy. And
Yeah.
he supports everybody. You never miss him in whatever chat you're in. So
Well, it's really
he
great to be
deserves
here
that
with-
luck for sure, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's really great to be here, guys. Obviously, we almost have too much good stuff and everything to have to talk about. You know, sometimes we're going to Hot Toys. Hey, spacing out, bro, so that we have like 2 or 3 worth of material to work with instead of throwing at us all like a big brick.
Right. And then Hot Toys knew we were going live today, so they're like, "Why not?"
I know. Well, you know, hey, you know
what?
what?
One more thing.
They helped you. You were like, "What do I do first? What should I lay out first for my thing?" And Hot Toys said, and thus the answer was provided.
Exactly. So here we are. Real quick, Boba Fettuccini is in the house as well. Boba Fettuccini says, let's do this. Well, Boba Fettuccini, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, as always, for being here, my friend. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on everything. We also have Collector's Entity in the chat. Collector's Entity, thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you, as always. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. We have Ty in the house as well. Another one of our great moderators. Ty says, hello, lovely people. Hello to you, Ty. I hope you're doing well. I know you're excited for all the Star Wars stuff, especially this week. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts and everything because we haven't chatted about it. But yeah, great to have you here as always. We got Steve, the evil sneaker, in the house. Steve says, evening, gentlemen in chat. Steve, I hope you're doing well, my friend. I know you're excited for that, Vader. I know you were probably giddy like a schoolgirl.
Get ready to
like
get
a lot
DX,
of us,
baby, because we're getting DX'd into oblivion.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, we are getting
Bro, that
DX into oblivion.
box
But
is so
guys,
beautiful
check out
when we
Evil
get to
Sneaker
it.
on YouTube if you haven't already. I'm sure Steve would appreciate that, and he's got some great stuff going on. his
Also,
channel over
everybody,
there.
make sure you put, if you haven't checked it out, check out check out and like the latest for the Vader sideshow first look. I'm sure we'll probably be using that.
Oh
at
yeah,
some
we'll
point
be
here.
taking a look.
'Cause
at
I
that
know,
very shortly.
like,
I haven't
literally-
watched it yet. You know what? You know how
Yeah.
I am. I like to
I
savor
like
it. You know?
literally within a minute and a half after that going up, I sent this to the big man upstairs there. I was like, yeah, he's gonna want this right away, whether he's gonna watch it or not.
Yeah.
Bro.
But I was determined to out spam some other people who usually.
Well, you sent it to me, Lane, so that I could then post it on the
Yeah.
Facebook group. So even though I didn't watch it, it served its purpose. But
but let's all
I
give
couldn't help myself this time. Usually I skip out watching. I made it a priority to watch, and the first opening seconds, like with the box, I nut myself and had to.
Yeah, I know. But let's give. If you haven't checked it out, definitely
I
go
know,
watch
I-
it. For Mr. Terry did handle that one. Give a like and everything to that. For
yeah, check out Terry
obviously a
Smith. I was
gentleman
actually just
who is a
hanging out in
great
his
part of
chat
our
the other day when he
community.
was doing a live unboxing for the Return of Jedi Boba Fett with the Sarlacc pit. Cigar says Mike changes his name as much as I change my avatar. That is true. You guys are kind of neck and neck on that.
That is true.
That's funny.
I like this one, by the way.
Yeah, it's suitable. You
Well,
got you
I
got to keep it
wouldn't-
interesting, right?
Just as long as you don't start that as Mike Laura Laurinaitis or something. That's probably not the good name right
No,
now.
no.
Sure,
I
I'm
meant
sure
I
one
like
day.
CMB's
Yeah.
avatar, but yeah.
Let's see. Cigars also says, I can't wait for that Vader. Got one for me and for my son. When I told him it dropped today in HK, his face lit up like Christmas tree. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's
That
what
is
it's all
awesome.
about, right?
Yeah.
And I know you and your son really share a special bond over collecting, so that's really cool. And yeah, I was the same way this morning, man. I woke up and I was just super.
I have
super
checked
excited,
like 6
so.
times today on Toys by an agent to see if it popped up there because I wanted to see the pricing that they were going to have it for. Even though I
Yeah,
already
it's
have
been
an order.
interesting lately. Black Adam, we're going to talk about Black Adam. That golden armor is actually being listed very high in Hong Kong. Sid Vicious says, hi, Lane, and everyone else. Lane, I guess you're the most important one here.
I don't
thank
know.
you so much for being here, Sid Vicious.
We've got, I would probably say of our group here, the most important one is probably the man in the right-hand corner there because he's the one who helps deliver our stuff to us.
That's true. That's true. But he doesn't deliver it to me, so
Great point.
Chris,
Well,
what's going on with that, man?
he doesn't want to steal the other guy's thunder, or think that he's given.
That's true. My UPS guy is
You know-
pretty solid, so I can't complain.
Well, he doesn't want to look like you're giving what is the term I'm trying to think here? Like giving you preferential treatment. Or
There you
something.
go.
Right. Every time I see a UPS
maybe
guy,
except
I
if he
tell Chris, I'm
wants
like,
to
oh, I
punch
just
you
drove
every
past
once in a
you.
while. Maybe that's the only time. Maybe
Right.
if he's got to
big shout out
have
to-
the little Mac you.
Oh, I like that.
Big shout out to Violet's Geekdom. Violet says, hey guys, can't wait to get my Vader. I didn't know you picked this one up. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it because I know you're more selective with your stuff, so it makes it that much more special for you. So that's really awesome. And thank you so much for being here as always. We appreciate it. Let's see. Steve says, appreciate you, bro. Of course, no problem. He says, you already know I'm hyped for this. Dude, I know you are, man. I know you saw that half-mast photo. And by the way, shout out to the photographer on this one. They brought one of their older photographers out of retirement for this one, it seems like. And he that photo that he took of the cracked mask with kind of that dynamic with the red and blue like we saw on the show. Amazing. And we're gonna
They
take a
really
look at
showed
that
off
first.
I thought a couple of the shots, the action, because, well, we'll talk about it and stuff when we start talking about the
The
thing.
single eye rolling system.
Right. Yomo is here. Yomo says, what's up, everyone? What's up, Yomo? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. It's great to see you, as always. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Who else we got here? Aaliyah is here. Aaliyah says, my favorite UPS man. He's just the best, isn't he? He's the most handsome, and he's talking right now and his mic's muted, so he's probably saying nice things, but...
Oh, no, I said that looks like the UPS guy's in that profile pic. That's
yeah,
weird.
I know. It's just so crazy how that works
Well,
out. It's got to be AI, right? All that new AI stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably what that is. Let's see. And then we also have 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid. My two favorite usernames, Boba Fettuccine and 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid, here tonight.
That's great.
The collection is complete. Pimpazoid says, come on, Sideshow, start shipping out some figures. I have Super Battle Droids, Commander... I guess he's talking about who am I thinking of? The one that
Fox.
just released. Fox,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Commander Fix. Padme, C-3PO, and now Vader that I'm waiting for. Yeah, it seems like they're a little behind because of Chinese New Year, but I'm sure, the Toby emails just went out today, so I'm sure that they're going to start pumping them out, but there's going to be a little bit of delay, which is fine for
We were
invoicing
talking about that
purposes.
earlier, you and I.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
how
I'm
many
excited
we've
for
got.
Toby, man. I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm glad that stuff's going out for sure. Let's see. Zombie is here. Zombie says, hello. Lots to discuss tonight. Zombie, I hope you're doing well. It's great to see you as always. And yes, there is some really great stuff to talk about tonight for sure. FBJ swinging in. FBJ saying hi to everybody. FBJ says, hey, Aaron, what's up, FBJ? Lane and I were just talking about you the other day. We were talking about, I actually caught a glimpse of one of your unboxing that you did. It was really cool. I had no idea that you were ever on camera. I had no idea. And Lane made me aware. And I'm like, that's awesome, dude. And when he said your name, I didn't connect the dots that you were FBJ. But I was like, that's awesome. I didn't know that he did that. So I was like, maybe we got to get FBJ on stream one day if he would.
I was already telling him that we got to get him on here.
Yeah. So FBJ, maybe we'll have to get you on camera one day. I had no idea. Jeremy Casa from Plastic Heroes Collectibles here. You guys know the drill.
You're dropping
Links
in
in the
ranks,
description.
bro.
You said what?
Every week you just
Yeah, you
drop
used
in
to
the
be like-
ranks.
I know. Yeah, my
nerd.
fourth favorite
Yeah.
one. First of all, he knows that I don't like the influencer thing, and then on top of that, first I'm number 1, then I'm number 2. Now I'm jumping from 2 to 4. I don't know how that.
Not
happens,
even
but
bronze medaling anymore.
It's probably because I don't
Yeah.
buy
Just-
enough from him. That's why.
Just by saying that, you just went to 6. So.
I guess so. Well, let me get myself back to at least 3, guys. There's a link in the description, as always, for the Plastic Hero Collectibles Facebook group. Definitely check them out. If you want somebody to hunt you down some stuff, definitely check Jeremy out. And also, he's got a lot of new pre-orders for the most recent pre-orders and things like that. And he's always dropping fire sales on the Facebook group. So if you're interested in picking up some secondary market figures especially, head on over to Plastic Hero Collectibles Facebook group. Hopefully that gets me to number 3 at least, right? How You Figure is here. What's up, How You Figure? How You Figure says, what's up, everyone? I hope you're doing well. Guys, check out How You Figure. I believe you're a little bit newer to YouTube, but I just glanced over his channel the other day and checked out a couple of his videos, and he's a really cool dude, so definitely head on over and check out his channel. Give him some love. I see Don Prime in the house. Don Prime, what's up, my friend? Yeah, I am on the D list now. I am on the D list, unfortunately. I think that's everybody. Guys, as always, if I missed you, as you comment throughout the stream, don't worry, I'll try my best to say what's up to you, read your comments. Really quickly, guys, a quick announcement about the channel memberships. I did just add, you guys can probably see it in the chat right now, I added some new channel rankings, so it's all color-coded now with the Hot Toys Hotline logo. I think it looks really clean, and it's simple, and I really like it, so I hope you guys like that. And also, I added some more emojis. So this guy down here was nice enough to give me a couple photos of them. I asked him for some specific stuff because I had some funny emojis in mind. So guys, you got to drop those Lane Kramer emojis in the chat because they're there for you guys to use. So channel members, look, he's like, I'm out of here. Also, we have a new Collecting Madness. We have a new UPS guy emoji. A quick thing, I do have some more emojis on deck. I went to add them and it said I need a few more channel members. So guys, if anybody's interested in becoming a channel member, the link is in the description. Once we get a few more, I will be able to add some more emojis. But I hope you guys enjoy the new stuff, and I'm just going to keep on adding as much as I can just to add some value for you guys. I really do appreciate all of you that have supported so far. I really much appreciate it. So,
Mike.
This guy, man, Mike, what are you?
We gotta get those memberships up, man.
What a sweetheart, man. I honestly, I'll be honest with you, Mike. You're gonna have to explain this to me because I don't know how this, I don't know how this works once you gift them. So if you know how it works, please explain it to me because I don't. But dude, you didn't have to do that.
I know how to gift them. I don't know how it works. But
well, if somebody in the chat knows, is there anything that I could do? Let's see.
Those Lane Kramers are that's great. Oh my god.
Guys, yeah, I'm kind of put on the spot here, but Mike, dude, I appreciate that. That's so kind of you, man. But yeah, there we go, guys. It sounds like we're gonna be able to add our Mike Latoris emojis after all. That's amazing. I guess people are just able to claim them, or is it randomized? I guess it's randomized. We have some new channel members now. Here we go. Cigars and Bacon, Boba Fettuccine. Dude, that's amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. I very much appreciate it. Well, guys, I didn't expect that. This man, he just never ceases to amaze me. But it is random. Thank you.
It's random,
I feel like a boomer right now. I had no idea that was even a thing on YouTube. I know it's like a Twitch thing and stuff. Meme Machine Engaged. Well, I promise you guys, I will upload those emojis right after the stream because I already got them made and I was ready to upload them. I'm like, no, I can't, because dude, wait until you see the emojis that we have of Mike. I asked him to do something specific and he delivered. They're hilarious. So thank you so much. And Pablo was able to get one as well. Thank you so much, Mike. We really appreciate it, my friend. And congrats to everybody. Courtesy of Mike, we got 5 new channel members, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me see it. Everybody's dropping just all the emojis in the chat. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's hilarious. Well, that made my day. Thank you so much, Mike. Well, let's get started. Now that we got everything rolling here, let's get started, guys. Perfect timing. Let's talk about the Kenobi Vader. What is there not to say good about this figure, guys? I mean, and I always tell you guys, a lot of the times, it's either super late at night that they drop this stuff for me because I'm on the East Coast, or I wake up in the morning like half asleep and I'm like, oh, what is it? What is it? And then I saw this Vader, and for me, it was just kind of like a silent, like, I'm screaming in my head because I'm so excited. Again, a lot of people have said this is one they've been waiting for quite a while. Excuse me. And for me, I think Hot Toys absolutely delivered on this one. Without having it in hand, just in terms of how everything is looking, the accessories that are included, I think this might be like the most ultimate Vader package yet. Especially if you picked up that deluxe, it just comes with so much, right? We got it looks like Mr. Potato Head Darth Vader. All right, well. Oh, that's funny. That one caught me off guard. That's exactly what it looks like. Have you guys seen the Mr. Potato Head Darth Vader? Like, am I crazy? That's what it reminds me of. Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. He's like, I am what you made. That's funny.
It does look like the Mr. Potato Head.
That's so funny.
Anyway, don't let me interrupt. What were we talking about?
Oh, anyway. Oh, man. Anyways,
how can you expect focus after that?
I know he already caught me off guard with the gifted memberships, and I'm trying to like bring it back. And then
Connor is not. Unfortunately,
funny.
Connor is not a droid. Not a protocol droid.
Yeah, this is not the droid you're looking
on what
for.
it's talking about.
Vader, I like that.
Oh, that's funny. Anyways,
How do we
yeah,
get
guys,
into the ship again, and how do we get out?
we're definitely jumping to Mike next for sure, 100%, because I just want to see him talk about Vader with that mask on. But yeah, guys, once again, like if we're talking about like the ultimate Vader package, I think this one just checks all of the boxes. You know, you got. All right, man. I can't make this up, guys. This wasn't planned. I promise you, this wasn't planned. Well, hopefully we'll be able to hear Chris through that helmet. But yeah, guys.
Of course you can.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And TX Boy has an idea for a poll. I'll definitely remind me of that. Dude, that's so loud.
I think the only thing that Connor's going to need in between now and this figure finally getting into his hands is like he's going to find his shoes become squeaky, and when he steps like on his left, it goes, and then he steps to the right, but it goes, and he's going to have squeaky Hooper shoes.
Oh man, this is all. We're off to a great.
We can't
start
even get
here,
to the
guys.
figure.
We're off to a great start.
We're also revved up with this figure. Like can't even get where we can.
There's a bunch of people in chat popping in, and we got we said his name earlier. It's kind of like Beetlejuice. You say his name 3 times, and he comes. So we're gonna say what's up. But let me finish my thought on while we're looking at this photo here, and then I'll say what's up to everybody in the chat. But yeah, guys, once again, for this one just checks all the boxes. I saw a comment that this figure comes with more lightsabers than General Grievous, and it kind of does, right? You know, you got Vader's hilt, you got the Reva hilt that splits in half, and they're both USB powered. This is a beautiful release, man. It really just comes with so much, and just the overall execution of how it looks in terms of the tailoring. Of course, we don't have it in hand yet, but it looks really fantastic. I love how the chest boxes look lit up. Obviously, you know. The star of the show with this release is this right here, that half mask. Whether you enjoyed the Kenobi show or not, I think most people can agree this moment here between Obi-Wan was really special. And, you know, for those people that kind of disliked the majority of the show, I think most people dial in on this moment here because they can very much relate with it, especially if you're a fan of the prequel trilogy, especially Revenge of the Sith. It was very much like a tie-in moment for a lot of us. And also, if you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels, that fight between Ahsoka and Vader is reminiscent of this look as well, because he has that same kind of thing happen. Obviously, different style of his helmet and everything, and the animated style, but still, it's very reminiscent of that. So there's a lot of different collectors that can relate with this one, and that makes it that much more special. And just seeing it here, guys, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I think they did such a fantastic job, and it's great to see that this one got the solid treatment from Hot Toys that they've been known for lately. So looking fantastic. I got more to say, but we're going to say what's up to some people in the chat, and then we're going to get some other panel members' thoughts. But really quickly, you know, we were talking about this. Where's Big Dog Pound? He's got to be here soon, right? Well, guys, like I said, you say his name and he shows up. And, of course, our boy Chris is ready for him. So, Chris, without further ado, let's give our big warm welcome to our boy Big Dog Pound.
So I had to take the mask off to look at the chat with my own eyes and to see this fire Darth Vader. So we heard Big Dog Pounds in the chat. We got to send them right. I am the wedding ring wearing, the Hot Toys delivering, truck driving, wheeling and dealing son of a gun. Woo! Welcome to Hot Toys Hotline. And finally, Vader has come to the channel. We got Spider-Man Superior Suit. Say what? C-3PO. What? Black Adam. What? And Kenobi Vader, baby. Let's go.
Oh, I love the hype. I love it.
Let's not forget also he left out the Hooper gooping. Top son of a gun.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did forget that part. But yeah, Big Dog Pound, you really can't ask for much more. And Chris, I love the Return of the Jedi quote tie in there. A+ for that one.
That was great.
You know, it's perfect with the half of the mast split. You know, perfect, absolutely perfect. You give you bonus points for that one. Let's see. Boba Fettuccini says Kenobi Vader takes the place of Rogue One Vader as the best Vader in my opinion. Yeah, so you guys know for me, like when we're talking about moments, that Empire Strikes Back Vader will always be my favorite because of that. But I've told you guys many times, in terms of like the best overall executed Vader, I always thought it was Rogue One. And of course, I'm waiting to see this in hand, but just from what I see here, this might top that. I might agree with that. This might be the best executed Vader yet. So I cannot wait to see it in hand. The big question was how many did you guys pick up? Me personally, I have one for battle damage, one for clean to put with the Inquisitors. So this one's really exciting for me. I don't really double up on these very often anymore, but this one was really special. And I'm like, I got to have one to go with the Inquisitors, right? So I know a lot of people, especially on the poll that I put up on the channel earlier, a lot of people were saying how excited they were to get two of them so they could do both different looks. So really, really cool. And yeah, I think you might be right on that one, Boba, for sure. Beskar Kid is here. What's up, Beskar Kid? As always, guys, check out Beskar Kid on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You name it, he's there. Some great early unboxings, and I'm sure he's going to have this Vader any day now, maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? He gets stuff very quickly. So he says, "Oh, the Kenobi Vader again? Sigh. I'm so over it." I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're totally over it. Now I know, Beskar, I know you're totally over the moon for this one, especially in the grand fashion. Yeah, absolutely. The grand fashion in which this one was released, it just looks absolutely fantastic. Guys, I'll address some more comments. I want to move on to. We're gonna move on to Mike, because Mike came in with that mask and just completely caught me off guard. So I'm like, we got to jump over to Mike. Mike, looking at the final product here of the Kenobi Vader, battle damage look right here, looking absolutely fantastic. What are your thoughts? And did you end up picking this one up?
Yeah, I pre-ordered this one. And to answer Cigar and Bacon's question, I think he asked if I had to like punch a 9-year-old to get that mask. I don't think the kid was 9 yet, but I did have to. Dude, this thing is so small. I had to take it off. I'm sorry, but it was killing me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
But yeah, I ordered this one pretty. I would say. I mean, like, it was within like the first week of when I started collecting, right? So about a year. This one's been about a year and a half, hasn't it?
I think you're right. I think you're right. I mean, someone could look up the exact date, but it feels like it. At least it feels like about a year and a half.
Yeah. So I ordered this one, and then I said, well, I'll get the deluxe because then I'll have both. If I want to display a clean Vader. Except the only thing is, I wish that they gave you. This is such a nitpick, but he does have that slash in his cape, so you'll never really have a perfectly clean Vader with this, even if you have the deluxe. Because he does have that slash cape.
Did we ever confirm? Because I think some people were saying that it turns.
It's reversible.
Is it actually reversible?
It's reverse, and you'll see in the sideshow video.
They actually do.
Oh,
okay,
that's great.
See, that's why I like to say I had to save that video, because I'm like, I'm not sure. I haven't watched the video because I like the first reaction. We're gonna pull up that video very shortly, but yeah, I think it is reversible. And it sounds like
that's awesome. Video. Okay, yeah. See, I didn't know that.
So now it's perfect, right?
Glad I brought that. Now it's perfect. Well, so the thing is, like, I still ordered the Return of the Jedi,
right?
Because let's be real, like, I'm not going to display the clean version. At least I'm not going to display the uncracked. I would have to display the uncracked helmet, right? So, I mean, that's like the whole appeal of this guy. If they didn't release the Return of the Jedi, though, I might just have picked up 2 of these. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm really excited for it. Now, is it true? Those of you who've watched the video or read more closely than I have, that the Reva sabers are not USB,
are they
but
not?
His is.
That's interesting. I thought that they were.
That's what I heard earlier today.
Let's do this. Let's pull up the video now so we can kind of answer all our questions live. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, of course, let me slow it down here. Let's do 0.5. That'd be unfortunate. I thought they were USB powered. Monica, big shout out to Monica, dude. Monica says in hand this weekend. Well, we're very jealous because we won't be seeing these probably for, I would guess, another couple of months at least, because there's still a lot of stuff like kind of building up that has been released since then. Obviously, guys, with Chinese New Year, of course, that might be affecting that, which is totally understandable.
Hey, one nitpick real quick. I will say I hated when they did do the cape that they didn't tuck it back under the mask, but obviously when you get yours in hand, you can do that. So it looks a little weird when they do it.
Yeah, it's like I think I don't know if it was Sideshow. It might have been, but they did a whole review or a whole like unboxing of Michael Myers and never popped the collar. And it's like, come on! I think it was them. Yeah.
Don said Riva static hilts. So guys, I did say USB powered Riva hilts. I apologize. I am wrong. I mean, I'm not going to display mine with the Riva hilts, but that's a bit unfortunate that they just kind of left those out because, you know, in the photos, he looks really good with those Riva sabers lit up. Again, I wouldn't display him with him personally, but it's a bit unfortunate.
I thought when you pre-ordered, I could have swore I thought they were.
I thought they were too, but again, I haven't read the... Maybe I should check the Sideshow listing and see what it says. Let's see. Monica Do said the cape is reversible. Yeah, he does have that. Yeah, exactly, as the swap out chest box, which you can see here actually pre-installed on the dude.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know about the reversible cape. Man. I feel like a dumbass now, but that's good.
Well, hey, we're dumbasses together, dude. Because I said the Riva sabers were. See, guys,
I'm in good company then.
You think because we're on stream we know everything? We don't know everything.
Hell no, I don't know jack, man. I'm the first to admit I don't know jack.
It still makes me sad when I look at that stack of stuff and that the special edition is that tiny little thing in the right hand side of the corner.
I know, right? It's so unfortunate.
It's just like lame. Like you compare it to, I don't know. I'll just use the thing, Spider-Man. You know, the black suit Spider-Man gets a separate head sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
That is basically for free coming with the figure. Yeah. And I need a bet zero from Toys. No.
Willie, good to see you. Good luck with that. I hope it works out for you.
But he gets that. But this, which is like a DX Darth Vader, because I don't even think the Return of the Jedi. It's a deluxe, but not technically part of the DX line, or maybe one of the last of the traditional DX line.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little, it wasn't Kenobi, at least, was the little box with the lightsaber and stuff like that with it and everything. Anakin's lightsaber in it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of stuff around that time that had, RoboCop, Mighty Thor came with the cracked mask. So
it came with some pretty neat, like.
Yeah, this was probably the
stuff.
Most average, disappointing.
And you're like, why? Why isn't it something more interesting with this Darth Vader?
I think it's probably because they included kind of everything that he interacted with.
From the show and stuff like that.
Because it's like, could they have given him a throne, but not as an exclusive accessory? That's too, that's too much of a value there to give him as like an exclusive accessory. So it's like, I get it. It's just unfortunate that it's not like that exciting.
Well, it's good they didn't even throne, because then it would have been on that stupid overly sized base that they always put with these like Darth Maul and stuff like that. DX18.
Yeah, but so this base is actually like the bottom portion of the quarter scale Vader. They just kind of reuse that, which I'm fine with. I think it looks really good.
But do you guys think the value is there for the difference between collector and deluxe being only $35?
Absolutely.
I think it's a great value for $35.
Definitely. Well, it's an extra head. It's a
the base lights up too. I didn't know that until I watched the video.
Yeah, I think you could easily, even if you don't want the extra parts, you could resell them for much more than $35.
Yeah. It's a great value for that.
I think so too. Yeah, definitely a
worthy
upgrade.
Because but the one thing is, there's 4 different plugs you have to do for the get everything.
Yeah, so they show that in this video. I remember Matt mentioned it earlier. Okay, so there's the slashed look. So
looks nice.
I'm curious to see how the mounting points work when it's reversed. I'm very curious.
It's just the chain. I think it just turns.
Oh, so it's just the chain that goes over his head.
Yeah,
that's
you turn
easy,
it around.
Easy. FBJ says, I sadly canceled my pre-order. I hope to get it down the line. I returned the Jedi Vader on
well,
man, stuff happens. I'm sure you'll be able to find it for an okay price. I haven't obviously dove into the pricing right now on this guy yet, because we get the initial Hong Kong pricing and then it fluctuates, of course, after they kind of gauge what people are willing to pay. So I'm sure you'll be able to get it for a fair price.
And you have another, it's not like you've got the redheaded stepchild Vader on order or anything like that either. Right. Stick with the Return of the Jedi.
But I mean, he's still available though. Right?
So some places still have
regular edition.
The deluxe actually, the regular edition I think is all that's left. The deluxe just waitlisted through Sideshow, the final deluxe, which there could be other places that still have them as well. I haven't dove into it recently, so you guys might be able to search around like comic shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting mine.
X-Men, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Fat Batman as well. Great to see you, my friends. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, 54 people watching, only 30 minutes into the stream. We very much appreciate it. Please consider dropping a like on the channel.
Wow, they're all on waitlist right now.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
all over on waitlist.
Yeah.
Dang. I mean, guys, like search around. There's still some stragglers. You know, that always happens. Yeah. But again, we got to wait and see what the secondary market price on this guy is going to be, because sometimes there's that initial shock factor, and then it kind of goes to a more reasonable. Oh, is this the reverse here? Is he going to show the reverse? Yes, he is. Here we go.
Yeah, this is it. That's it.
I mean,
well, that's cool.
I'm cool with that, man.
That's great.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Wow, I don't know. Maybe that was in the text on Sideshow, but I just didn't notice it, and I hadn't seen this video yet. So yeah, that's cool.
Hey, but that's what happens, right? That's when we wait to watch the video. You know, we're reacting to it live.
I mean, I knew it since that, and we talked about it on stream when it was announced. But
yeah,
you knew it before it was announced. I think.
I do remember the reversible cape. I did not remember that the. Okay, and real quick, guys, I think someone said this is all they really show of the USB wiring.
I watched from the, but yeah, it looks like I.
So this looks like my power strips at home, guys.
I can tell. I hate every second of this stupid.
Yeah, but it's got the cloak lane that covers it up, though. That's the thing.
And I'm hoping they include the attachment like they did the others, and I'll probably clip it to the stand or something.
All I'm gonna say is
I hate doing the belt stuff.
All I'm gonna say is I absolutely despise hooking that crap up to the Grand Inquisitor, and he doesn't have as many points to hook up, and I hated every second of it. I found it so annoying and terrible.
I haven't used the USB power stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I only work with technology every single day.
Cigars was saying that there's missiles being lobbed at the boats carrying our hot toys.
He's I don't think he's.
See what I mean? They just left the cape on the outside.
No FBJ.
Yeah, so like coming from the Pacific. It's a little bit different, but yeah, there's some stuff going on with international shipping right now that's kind of scary.
There's been like nonstop stuff ever since like the beginning of COVID. There's just been nonstop things affecting lead times. You know, obviously with the shortage of workers, the backup in the ports, like it's just never ending. And not to get too deep into it, but the world's still recovering, and then it's just like one thing after the other.
There's political unrest too. I think he's referring to.
Right.
This is my first DX figure too.
Really?
I'm going to let FBJ know as well. FBJ, if you think, I look forward to you selling me your Batwing for half off when you're trying to get rid of it.
See, look how that works, right? Everybody looks forward to Lane selling their stuff, and now Lane selling his stuff. Now Lane's looking forward to
after
FBJ.
Your wife is going to finally see, because that's not the only 1/6 scale thing you've gotten in the last 2 weeks, which if anybody wants to check out, FB Mr. Freddy unboxings a couple of a previous 1/6 scale vehicle. Go check out Godlike Statues, and you can see that it's probably good he's not showing certain people the checkbook recently.
What?
FBJ, Lane's blowing up your spot. He's
bringing your wife into it.
Lane's talking about wives over here. Interesting. Very good eye, Willie. I mean, just off first glance, I can't say for sure, but it looks, at the very least, it looks very similar.
It does.
Because I have the Mark 85 battle damage. Of course, I have him kneeling down, with the snap, but at the very least, it looks very similar. I can't confirm without holding it up, but you might be onto something there. Yeah. Ian says, this is as awesome as can be. Totally agree. I'm holding out hope that we get a Revenge of the Sith Vader, maybe the operating table. And dude, please. I'm getting OG Vader for now. That's fair. I mean, being realistic, this between the Return of the Jedi Vader and this one, as much as I hate to say it, I'd probably get the Return of the Jedi Vader. I'm sorry, guys. Return of the Jedi Vader with the... Return of the Jedi Vader with the electrocuted head and all that, that's hard to say no to. And, that's...
I get it, but I've always wanted a battle damage Vader. And this
I have too. It
ties more in for me because it's got Sebastian's, head sculpt, which granted, that's OT. I like it. Out of the OT, Return of the Jedi is my favorite, but obviously I'm more attached to the prequels. And seeing Hayden's actual face, behind the mask like that, is more sentimental than
it's tough to say that, Chris. It's I say that knowing that I'm getting them both, but it's just for sentimental purposes, the original trilogy is what I started on, and to have a Sebastian Shaw head sculpt and the electrocuted head and all that other stuff that comes with them, it's it's hard to pick this one over that one, but it's so close though. It's like so close. It's so difficult to make that decision. But for me, I would definitely go Return of the Jedi.
This one is the ultimate like crossover Vader from original trilogy, and even though it's from Kenobi,
Exactly.
Kenobi is like kind of the
Monica. We only have so much video. There's only one video of this Vader right now, I believe. Here, 0.75. There we go.
Yeah. No, Lee, you're right, man. And
this is the crossover Vader.
Yeah.
For everybody who's a fan of the George Lucas movies, like the original George Lucas movies and stuff. And that's what to me, I know, and you know me, I'm older than all you guys, so that I really attach the OT trilogy like the most. So Return of the Jedi, I thought would be the Vader, would absolutely be the only one I would ever get. But because I've had time with the original trilogy and have had over 20 years, at least with the, prequel trilogy and stuff, where they've been both kind of part of my entire life. To me, I'm not saying this is necessarily going to be the best Vader, because I think the Return of the Jedi, because
it's hard to say,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's hard to say, like, objectively, what's the best. I think they're both going to be perfectly executed in their own right. It really comes down to preference, right? It's like, I don't want to say which one's the best. It's just, if I had to pick one, I have to narrow it down to the Return of the Jedi.
I think for a certain age group, this is the ultimate Vader, because this is the one that you can have the classic look, you can have the part of the legacy of kind of Hayden, especially if you own Dark Side Anakin, or you own the Revenge of the Sith Anakin, or if you're going to be getting the Artisan Edition one. This is, and I'm not saying, guys, Kenobi is not a memorable Star Wars series necessarily completely, but I'm saying this is a piece of memorabilia that connects those trilogies together, and two of the most central characters. Now, Luke's the main character of the original trilogy, but Kenobi is like Kenobi and Anakin are the connective tissue through all 6 of the movies, like their relationship, where they're not always maybe the most important character in the individual movie, but they're always hovering around, or one of the central points of why stuff is happening and happen around.
So are you saying that you don't think
Anakin's
like the most important character in the story?
I think in some movies that there have been, whether
I think in every movie he's the most important character.
Do you work for Disney now, Lane? Do you work for
no,
the Skywalkers?
It's his story, basically.
I think in the original Star Wars movie, Luke Skywalker is the main character and most important person.
Oh yeah, sure, in the original trilogy,
and in Return of the Jedi. He's the main character.
He is, but the story.
But that's what you guys were not paying. Then you weren't paying attention to what I said before. They are always central threads through all 6 movies. The first 3, Anakin is the central story, is the main character of the prequel trilogy. But we're sometimes forgetting that the main character, the protagonist, the hero, is Luke Skywalker. He is the main character of those movies. Vader is the central, and not even, and him and Tarkin in the first movie are the central antagonists, but they're not the main character. That might depend how you define the main character, but I define the main character as the central hero.
Some in the chat are claiming that you're working on your dance moves right now. Is that true?
I'm not dancing. Luke Sky, I can.
Lane, hold that thought.
I'm teasing you, Lane.
Hold that thought.
I agree with you, Lane.
I'm sorry.
I want to address some comments. Hold that thought. Because there's a lot of comments piling up here. Let's see. Cigar says this is young Vader, must get it to complete the evolution of it. Absolutely. I mean, again, guys, when you're making that decision of which one you think is like your favorite Vader, the one that you want to have, it all comes down to personal preference and, your history with the films and what speaks to you. And, again, for better or for worse, those who didn't care for this show, I think most people can agree that this portrayal of Vader was fantastic. It was a great jump forward from what we saw in that final fight on Mustafar with Obi-Wan and Anakin, and it's really just such a tie-in for your collection as well. Like if you have Dark Side Anakin, the Obi-Wan Kenobi from Episode 3, it just really ties everything together, whether they're next to each other or not. Just having that story in your room as you look around, it's really incredible. It really is. Let's see. Yeah, and Zombie makes a great point. Zombie says we have a Vader for everyone, and truly we do. We have Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
I think that's what Lane was saying.
A New Hope. A New Hope.
I think this is the Vader this Vader is the one that may be the greatest Vader for people of a certain age and
like
generation.
40 and under, 40 and over. Like that's kind of where I see that split generationally. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong on that number exactly, but
yeah, generally speaking, that makes sense.
This one connects both.
Evil Sneaker says that Obi-Wan is the GOAT. Well, we know you like your Obi-Wan, man. You can tell by his profile picture, he is Obi-Wan.
Just because when he walks down the street, everybody thinks he's Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
so
everybody's
he's
like,
a little
"Hello
biased.
there."
Yeah, hello.
What? Who said that? Yeah. Looks like Beskar, it says, any Vader with a Hayden sculpt or a partial one is an automatic definitive Vader. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Yeah, I mean, again, could you really lose with this one? I think, out of all the most recent pre-orders, I think, at least in the past, like, year and a half, 2 years, this is one of those where you're like, yeah, this is going to be good, Because we've seen what
George
Hot
Toys Lucas, does. Even himself, like, when they remastered, put Hayden in as the Force Ghost.
Oh, bro, you're going to open a can of worms with that one. A lot of people hate I'm happy with it, but people hate the special editions. We're not going to go down that road.
George Lucas did it. That's father.
You're going to get people fired up, man. That is a conversation to the end of time. Austin Nicholas is in the chat. I'm changing the subject, dude. I'm not getting these original trilogy people started. Austin Nicholas, what's up, Austin? I hope you're doing well. Austin says, look at this panel. We appreciate you being here, my friend. Guys, check out Austin Nicholas on YouTube and Instagram. He's on everything. I'm sure you've seen him somewhere at this point. He's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. Probably on TikTok as well, I think, right? I think.
By the way, he can fill out that Cyclops suit just like that, by the way.
Right. It's screen accurate.
That's very detailed, yeah.
You're looking a lot better than Cyclops in the X-Men 97. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, and everybody speaking facts, guys, must have all Vaders. I'm glad I'm not the only crazy one here. Monica would probably call me out because I don't have the quarter scale Vader, and maybe one day it'll make its way over here for the right price.
Mr. Mom, Monica, everybody, like I agree, and I think Lane was touching on this too. I struggled with this because I had this on order, then the Return of the Jedi was announced, and I was like, do I need two? I kind of do. I mean, they're different enough, right?
Dude, they're two completely different stories at that point. Two different phases of the character. So
and what's great is they're the last moments of each character in a way, right? So this is like the bookend of the Hayden verse, the Hayden, story, and then we get the bookend of the original trilogy story. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that like completion of that, that story between Anakin and Obi-Wan, where Obi-Wan still wasn't sure if there was any bit of Anakin Skywalker.
I'm all that remains.
And then when he walks away, okay, Darth, it's
exactly.
Like that's closing a chapter and kind of Obi-Wan's like, all right, well, I know what I have to do now because
I know
about both of those phases.
Right, Anakin Skywalker is gone, and as Anakin said,
that's where he finally accepted Yoda's line from, Revenge of the Sith. Consumed as your Padawan, Ben. By Darth Vader. Like that. That was like where that moment almost probably realized finally.
And by the way, I just want to say that anybody who enjoyed the show or didn't like the show, whatever, for most people, I think we enjoyed the Vader Kenobi fight. But
you could just watch that scene by itself, right? Oh,
go on YouTube and watch the supercut of just the fight, because in the actual the show, it intercuts the Reva stuff back and forth. And even if you love Reva, you can't argue that just seeing the fight on its own without the cuts is a better. It's a better watch just to see the flow of it. So,
no, I totally agree, guys. I watched it. It's fantastic. You got to check it out. What's up, Chuck G? I hope you're doing well. Chuck G says, this is my Vader right here. Well, I'm glad to hear you're excited about this one. Because it was
special. Kind of you were having to try and bounce your emotions going from, awesome lightsaber duel to attempted child side.
I agree.
That alone made the whole show worth it for me.
It did.
Dude, seeing
Like to
Ewan
see those
cry,
two
you
back
know,
on screen,
tearing up,
right?
you know, seeing his old friend, seeing a glimpse of him, and again, you know,
Took me right
you're
back to
kind of this
2005.
right, this like split in his helmet. You're peering into Vader's soul and kind of seeing a piece of him that you know we kind of caught a brief glimpse of him kind of coming back, and then you know that saber color turns and his face gets
and
red
it ties
again.
in really well to what Ahsoka had to in Rebels, like the two of the Jedi.
Which
Right.
I found
Probably
out
did.
from Ewan McGregor that lightsaber thing was an accident.
That's what
Which
he
is
claims.
crazy because
Yeah.
it's so like powerful
Cinematic.
without saying it, and cinematic too. Like without even saying anything, it's so powerful. Because
Obviously,
like,
this shows one thing you continually always have to watch be careful of is the boots.
yeah,
Around
those guards will stab into that like pleather top coat on the boot, so you gotta be careful with that because I've seen some like secondary
That
market
is a
ones where
good
they
scene.
have dimples. Yeah, I'm sure everybody loves to see Reva like begging for Vader's mercy there. That's probably the best use for her for a lot of people. I'm excited to get that figure. I don't have it in yet. I think mine's shipping very soon, but I'm excited to check that one out. It's gonna be so awesome having them flanking Vader. Willie says, so excited for this Vader. I know it's like difficult to contain your excitement, right? You don't have it in hand yet, so it's like you're waiting and waiting to see the whole
There's only
package
one
in
thing
hand
with
and
the
everything.
Vader figure that I'm hoping this one is improved, like just in general versus the other ones, is attaching the gauntlets and stuff when you switch them out, because they can have a tendency on like the Rogue one I had and stuff to be kind of loosey goosey and not always lock in place perfectly. I'm just hoping maybe this is a little bit better, but that's like the only thing for the figure I had any concern about at all.
Liam, what do you mean swapping out the gauntlets or switching?
Like when you switch out his hands, sometimes
his hands, okay, yeah, because they'll slide.
Can be
off the
loosey
arm.
goosey, like a really loosey goosey on the two Vaders that I used to own.
Yeah,
and they never were. Now they were a little bit older. It was like Rogue One and stuff. I'm hoping it just could be the nature of how they're made and everything that they're never going to be great with that. But I'm hoping maybe this one makes it so they lock into place a little bit easier. That was literally the only concern I ever had for this figure ever. And it's a minor thing.
Stuff like that for me, it's like I've touched and, you know, put so many figures in my collection over the years. It's like I've kind of like, it's like an afterthought for me because I'm used to like the struggle with those parts. And it's like I don't complain about it as much only because I'm like, all right, well, this is going to be a pain in the, you know, it's kind of like one of those things. It's like a clone when you're putting the hands on, you got to pull, or like a trooper, you got to pull that back.
Any trooper armor, you're expecting,
right? It's a pain in the ass, but it's like you're
the thing is going to go
it.
flying sometimes or fall off or something.
Yeah, yeah, it's like an unspoken thing for a lot of us because we just, you know, we just deal with it all the time.
Yeah, look at that.
But yeah, this picture is incredible, and it just really highlights again, like, and that guys, the texture on that skin, and it's crazy. You only have a window there to see that sculpt underneath, but man, does it look like Hayden, even just seeing that little piece of him there. It's just the eye is beautifully painted, and I think it's going to rival those dark side eyes on the dark side Anakin.
Well, this is cool too because it's kind of giving us that theme because that was such an awesome scene in Rebels when Ahsoka damaged him.
Right, I am.
You got a similar thing.
That beautiful scene also. Beautiful scene.
But this kind of giving this in a live action version that even though I understood a couple people I knew who would watch this were like, but it's kind of the same thing taken used again. Like they're reusing something Disney already did, but in animated form. I'm like that. I was like, that's true, but
yeah.
I was like, it's not quite the same. This is letting us see it in actually live action, and it makes sense that it would parallel because the two probably other most important people in Anakin Skywalker's life. Obviously, there was Padme, who, you know, as like I would call it his normal life outside of the Jedi Order, she was the most important person. His most important like father figure / mentor or other Jedi was Obi-Wan, and then obviously his Padawan, like who was his, in some ways, almost like his kind of daughter,
little sister, daughter,
or something like that. Sibling was Ahsoka. So it makes sense that both of them would kind of have a similar scene when they finally realize who he is and kind of have to face what he's become. And obviously, Obi-Wan has a different reaction than Ahsoka. Ahsoka can't bring herself. She's like, I'm not going to leave you, even if he's supposed to say she's going to kill her.
She's less, at that time, she's less like wise to the fact that he's gone. You know, the person they knew is no longer there. Ahsoka just was still holding out hope because if you guys remember him, and then we're going to finish our discussion on the figure. If you guys remember, like, you know, Ahsoka got abandoned by the Jedi Order. She was completely abandoned for something that she didn't even do. And then the only person that was there for her and stuck his neck out for her was Anakin. So Ahsoka always had that in the back of her mind, like, you know, Anakin was always there for me. I've got to be there for him no matter what. And she just wasn't ready to let go. And, you know, in the Ahsoka show, we get a beautiful kind of a resolution for where she was in her head at the time in Rebels and how she's progressed and, you know, kind of facing her master again and kind of realizing that she didn't have to completely abandon her old ways. It was just a very, very much a full circle moment. Real quick, I want to read some comments, guys, and then, of course, we have some more stuff to discuss. But Austin says, all of the Vader scenes were pretty damn good. The show itself didn't hit hard for me, but it had standout scenes. And yeah, for me, you know, I didn't hate the show as much as a lot of people did. There were a lot of things that I'm like, I could have done without that. But for me, there was a lot of nostalgia-driven enjoyment of the show, you know. So where some things I'm like, you know, I'll brush that to the side because they did this or they did that. Definitely not a perfect 10 out of 10. I think the strongest Star Wars show yet for me has been Ahsoka. I really enjoyed Ahsoka. Of course, Mando season 1 is up there. Andor was fantastic as well. But Ahsoka, in the amount of episodes that they did, in the format of the episodes and everything, I think the pacing was very good. And I just really enjoyed it. And it just had a lot of fun times to be had in that first season. So really some fantastic writing on that Ahsoka show. I think they did a great job, but totally agree. Let's see. Chuck said, I'm good, can't complain. I'm so glad to hear that. It's so great to hear that you're doing well. Cigars says, each Vader we've seen is a story of Vader from anger and guilt all the way to remorse and redemption. Yeah, I mean, obviously that scene in Return of the Jedi really hits hard because you kind of get to see that full circle moment of, you know, Luke just telling him, like, I know there's still good in you. I know there's still good in you. And unfortunately, it took his demise to kind of wake back up and, you know, snaps out of his trance and he's back to Anakin.
And then Lucas had to almost still try and ruin that scene by asking that horrible no.
Yeah.
In the later editions.
Somebody turn Lane off.
Yeah, we're gonna Lane. I appreciate you being here. I'm just joking. MB Dyson says Obi-Wan is the hero of the prequels. Anakin has a tragic downfall and is to be pitied at best. He is weak and gives into his own emotions and kills others to get what he wants. Not the hero. I mean, yeah, I don't think that we all see Anakin necessarily as a hero. It's more so it's obviously unfortunate, right? Because he succumbed to the charm of Palpatine, and Palpatine, you know, that man is ruthless. The things that he did, the things he was able to achieve right under the Jedi Council's nose, you know, he's just hiding right under their noses, planning horrible things. And unfortunately, Anakin was kind of at the forefront of that plan. And obviously, Anakin, because of his decisions,
since a young age,
right?
Too.
He ruined his own life. Yeah, he ruined his own life by the decisions he made, but he was seduced by Sidious, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the tragedy of Anakin will never the all the ins and outs of it will never cease to amaze me. You learn more, the more you look into it, and it's such a sad tale of the character, really. And again, all the media that we have now, kind of filling in those gaps in the story, it really kind of makes you feel bad for the guy, right? Because he's such a likable character, especially as Anakin.
Totally. I feel really lucky as a 44-year-old who enjoys all of this newer stuff. And when I say newer, I mean even the prequel stuff, because there's a lot of people my age and older that didn't like the prequels and then didn't give anything else a chance. And you're missing out on like a lot of the beauty and the depth of Anakin's tragic love story, essentially, is what it is. And yeah, you don't really get the complete story just from the original trilogy. So
yeah,
we're lucky to have all this new media too. Even if you don't love all of it from Disney, there's been a lot that have contributed to the appreciation of the original trilogy.
Oh, for sure. Let's see. Yes, and Evil Sneaker reminding us Bad Batch season 3 tomorrow, 3-episode premiere. Yeah, I'm not ready for it, man, because I'm not to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it, but at this point, it's been a while since season 2. Tech is still up in the air. We haven't seen anything on screen. Not to say that I'm hoping for any sort of revival, but it's just going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And this could be a very tragic end to the characters. We don't know if this is the last season. We might be losing some of our boys. We don't know. So
yeah, and that's kind of what I was touching on. Like, I mean, if you had asked me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, if like clones would be one of the most interesting aspects of Star Wars, at least this period of Star Wars, I would have said absolutely not. Why would you feel that way?
Right.
But I find them so intriguing and so interesting. And I think Bad Batch, if you've been putting off watching that show, you're not going to love every episode probably, but it is worth the ride when you get to the end of it.
Absolutely.
There is so much like maturity and depth specifically in Crosshair that it's totally worth watching the show just for that one character alone.
And,
anyway, I don't want to derail
like me. Wrecker, that's my favorite character.
I love Wrecker. Dude, I just got a new disc plate of Wrecker, the helmet.
Awesome.
It's
That's
sick,
awesome.
man.
I love Wrecker, man. My favorite Bad Batch member. He's just simple. He's just a simple
You know what I
dude.
love about Wrecker though? He's simple, but they did not go like the cheap route of making him stupid. He's not just a big oaf dummy. Like there's depth to him as a character.
Oh, absolutely.
I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. He said he killed the Padawans. That's funny. This was BS. Young Vader would have smoked Reva without thinking twice. She would have been another Force ghost notch on his belt.
100%.
Yeah, I think.
Well, that's when lightsabers killed people.
And guys, real quick, guys, for the poll, a lot of you guys are saying add both. I was just very curious which one you guys would pick. I know the both option, but I'm just very curious to see. So, guys, there is a poll up if you haven't seen it. Return of the Jedi Vader versus the Kenobi Vader. Which one are you? If you had to pick one, that's what I'm challenging you with.
I mean, that's one of the toughest choices collectors have to make. Because, I mean, it's the same character. But as you said, they're very different. Just what comes with them is different. The era, even some of the minute details. Because most of us who collect these figures sometimes, may not see all the difference, but you might subtly notice some of the differences. And, just for the era from what they're basing off, 80s Vader didn't necessarily have some of the detail or some of the stuff they could do in, the 2020s when they did Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Bro, let me tell you my final thoughts real quick. Like, this was a day one pre-order. Super excited for it. So I only got one, but
that's sick.
There's just so much that goes into that. I think it's going to be my figure of the year unless Attack of the Clone Anakin, blows me away too. But right now, this up there, I've been waiting for it. So glad it's finally here. And my first DX, like I said, that's special to me.
Yeah, Monaco's
to be this
DX.
one.
Wow. Yeah, it's surprising, but that's just how it plays out sometimes. Sometimes you have a pretty substantial collection. It's just that's how it works out sometimes. There's some great non-DX figures. There really is.
Yeah.
I see a bunch of people popping in, guys. 58 people watching. If you don't mind, guys, please consider dropping a like on the stream. I saw Wayne in the chat. Let's see who else we got. And guys, I know there's a lot of comments piling up. I apologize that I can't read all of them. I don't want to spend too much time on Vader because we do have some other figures to talk about. And I know Mike has to bump out here very soon. Let's see. Big Dog Pound says, I like how you described Vader each step of the way. Yeah, I mean, it's once again, it is really a tragic tale. It's one of those characters that was like, unfortunately, destined to fail. The most tragic tale also, I don't want to say the most, but close to it is Darth Maul. You look at him. That character was literally just written to fail. It's unfortunate because he's a very likable character, but every step of the way, I think he gets a little bit ahead and then see ya. A little bit ahead.
I think other than those two, Ahsoka, I think, has the best character arc in Star Wars, though. From like Padawan all the way to where she is now. Like,
it's
kind of
a fantastic.
She's got a lot of coverage.
Sure. She's a fantastic character.
And that Maul comment too goes back to what I was saying. That Rebels is fully Disney property. It's not kind of split the way Clone Wars was with season 7 being under Disney. And like, look what they did with Maul. You got to give credit where it's due, man. I mean, that ending to Maul's story is phenomenal.
It's beautiful and it's simple, right? It's nothing, it's not an over-the-top fight between him and Obi-Wan. It's just simple.
Beautiful, man.
And, Obi-Wan, gives him the proper respect at the end, and it's just...
Closes his eyes, and it's...
Yeah. That scene between... It's Sam Witwer as Maul, Sam Witwer, he's just such a fan at the end of the day. And when you have someone that's that like intertwined in the universe to the point of where they're a fan and they enjoy like learning about this stuff, they're going to do a good job. And Sam, like, he does such a fantastic job.
Yeah, there were times when he out Star Wars Filoni, like with little tidbits of knowledge that he retells some of those stories.
He knows a lot because you got to remember, he's been voicing Maul for years. He was Palpatine in The Force Unleashed. He's done a lot of stuff for Star Wars, so that man deserves a lot of credit. credit. One Adam12 is here. Adam says, I made the choice Kenobi Vader, already have ESB Vader and a New Hope Vader. Well, you're going to have an awesome Vader collection for sure. That's absolutely incredible. You gotta share some pictures with us, man. I'd love to see how you're going to display those. Let's see. Who else we got here? Yeah, and Cigar, you hear that? It's the hotline calling you. Pick up the phone, answer the call, and hit the like button, feed the algorithm. I love it. Short and sweet. We appreciate you, my friend. And guys, once again, if you haven't already, consider dropping a like on the stream. I'm going to read one more comment about Vader, and then we're going to move on to our next topic. MB says, my favorite image from the OT that I grew up with was the 3 Jedi ghosts. Putting Hayden in there ruined it for me. Lucas took that away, justify his prequel trilogy. I can't forgive him for that. Chris, I told you, man. You know, I'm in a lot of Star Wars groups, and I've seen these conversations, but I get it. You know, for me, I agree with Chris. I'm like, it makes sense that they replace Sebastian Shaw with Hayden in terms of continuity with the rest of the films. But if you're like an OT purist, and I'm not saying you are, but there are people that are, and they look at just that, they're like, damn, you took away my childhood. And I get it. You know, there's different ways to look at it. And I can't judge you for thinking that way. What?
Well,
it is still out there, but it's just for those who feel that way, it's, you know, it's just the action of what they did. They replaced their childhood hero with someone that they may not relate with as much.
And here's the other thing.
And it's only sort of still out there. Like, he can't just go out and buy the Blu-ray of that.
Right, like when you go on Disney Plus, it's the special editions.
Yeah.
But let's put it this way, too. Had George Lucas casted an Anakin or able to have him for all films, it probably would be what it is now. Like, he would have the same character who was and put him in a suit. But obviously, because of time periods, kind of can't.
Yeah, Tremble Dust. Again, for me, I'm a fan of all of Star Wars, good or bad, and I like the option of having both. Now, I will say, I don't think this is controversial at all. The one change that was made that was absolutely necessary is that horrible original look for Palpatine. Let's be real. That was a needed change.
Yeah,
that was a needed change. The original design of Emperor Palpatine was horrible. So, you know, I think that's one that a lot of people won't argue about. And you know, Jabba the Hutt, that's up in the air, you know, replacing him with CGI versus the puppet. But again, for me, and I do agree with that. The other versions are out there, but just what the you know, the younger generation, especially who's on Disney Plus and stuff, they won't ever know about that version. But again, I'm not. It's not something I'm salty about. For me, I prefer having Hayden in there because in the terms of the Skywalker saga, it makes more sense. But, you know, everybody has their own opinion, and I totally get it. It depends on really also, you know, different eras, like Mike said, different age groups. They're going to have different varying opinions on those changes. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and I have the despecialized edition. I have still VHS. So like there are many ways to still enjoy.
Yeah, I have the original VHS releases of the trilogy as well. So it you know. It's still out there. You could still watch it, but I totally understand having certain feelings about it. Yeah. NB Dyson says replacing Phantom Menace puppet Yoda was a good choice too. Yeah, that puppet was horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But guys, we're gonna move on to our next topic. Mike, I don't know if now's your time to bow out, or you have a little bit more time.
I can stick around for a little longer.
Okay, cool, cool. So guys, we're gonna move on to our next topic. Still talking about Star Wars. We're gonna talk about C-3PO, guys, and I know, you know. Again, what a week, right? What a week. And big shout out to my friend here, TK421 Collectibles.
He's the man. Yeah.
Love this guy. He's such a genuine dude. He does great unboxings. You guys know I'm on my unboxing stuff, and I'm always watching other unboxings as well. Right, yeah, his signature. So
he's great.
Big shout out to TK. We're checking out his unboxing here of C-3PO. What a week, though, guys, right? You know, if you're a Star Wars fan, Return of the Jedi, C-3PO, the Golden God, and Kenobi Vader, I couldn't be more happy. I don't know about you guys, but really excited to talk about this one, guys. If you guys have the other C-3PO that we got from Attack of the Clones, you guys know that was, you know, for most people at least, it was very well executed from Hot Toys. A lot of die cast, heavy, solid piece, really nicely done. The paint work was beautiful. And, you know, seeing this here, I think he looks absolutely fantastic. I can't really stress enough how great of a job Hot Toys did on this one. And, you know, this one was important, right? Because how many years, guys, were we begging for another C-3PO? You know, the Sideshow one, for its time, you know, it held its place in many people's collections, but a lot of people had issues with it. It was flimsy. It was loose. It wasn't die cast, so you really didn't have that painted die cast look. But finally from Hot Toys, we finally got what we've been waiting for. And I know a lot of people want the OG, the golden rod from A New Hope, and I'm sure that one's on their list for future projects. But for right now, getting this one right now is super exciting. And not only that, you get C-3PO, but you also get Salacious Crumb. I'm really excited about this one, guys. I don't know if I'll ever use the swap out faceplate with the eyeball hanging out, just because I kind of want the clean C-3PO, but I think it looks really cool, right? And not only that, I love that you get the little pillow. I have the Sideshow Salacious Crumb from years ago. Love that you get the little pillow there for Salacious to sit on. I think it's really cool. And that base, guys, we talked about the bases recently, and how Hot Toys is kind of switching up what they do with the bases. I think it looks great. It's clean. Obviously, the height is what we talked about before. The height is what we had a question about, like how it looks in DTOS and kind of scaling with other display stands. That may cause some issues, but I do think this is a step in the right direction versus what we've seen in the past with those sand footprint bases especially. I feel like this one could have been a contender for one of those, so I'm glad that that didn't happen. Let's see. We got some comments. Beskar says TK421 Collectibles is the GOAT for in-depth unboxings and reviews. Absolutely. He does such a fantastic job, guys. Check him out for sure if you haven't already. How do you guys feel about Salacious as we have him here on the screen? I feel like enough people haven't been talking about him because he's kind of like an afterthought in this set. Me personally, I could tell you firsthand, I think this looks better than the Sideshow one. The Sideshow one is definitely a bit outdated. Still great looking for its time. But I think he looks pretty awesome here, and I think the sculpt.
It's just good they included it, because 3PO would be kind of total. I mean, you got to have something, or else the Attack of the Clones one would have been a much better version of, since it came with some stuff.
Yeah,
I think Salacious fits for being Return of the Jedi. It helps identify this one.
Yeah,
as Return of the Jedi.
That's a good
as
point.
well, other than like the base or something. Which
That's
the
true.
base is take it or leave it to me sometimes, but somehow.
Salacious definitely sells him as being from that film, and I don't think they could have done a better job with him. I mean, he looked like a Jim Henson puppet in the movie, right? So it's not like I think they nailed it. The look here.
3PO looks great. I mean, this is the 3PO this is the 3PO we're looking for.
Oh man, sorry.
Look
let me
at
cut
that
you off.
gold, bro.
Why does everybody keep calling the C-3PO head the penis eye? I keep seeing that pop up.
You're looking at different spots than I do, man.
What are your guys? Let me ask you guys. What are your guys' thoughts on the weathering?
Really
I think it looks pretty
Love
good.
it.
Some people were
Makes
asking,
it
like,
look
do you think it's
metallic.
too heavy-handed? I think it's accurate to the film. When you look at the actual screen-used costume, there's a lot of weathering, and it's also like I saw some people in I can't remember the name of the gentleman in Hong Kong who got this in hand and started a video. He said that seeing it close up, it looks more heavy than it actually is when you actually look at it in your display. Like it works, right? It's just the right amount. And you're kind of seeing that here, right? When he's not like super close up on the figure, you can see those kind of blotches of weathering here and there. I think it looks really
well.
nice.
And you think about it, he was in Jabba's palace, and then also running around, stomping around in a forest, getting dirty while hanging out with killer space teddy bears.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have any of you guys owned, and anybody in chat, maybe Monica, you might have at some point. Have any of you guys owned the Tamashi C-3PO?
No, and that was a huge grail piece for a lot. I mean, that
still is.
It was selling for like not on
600
Facebook.
$1,000.
At least on Facebook recently, it has dropped in price. I guess because this.
Yeah,
was
I mean,
released,
it would like to be $600 to $800 or something.
Right, yeah,
crazy.
absurdly
it sells for
expensive.
$500.
And that one's
absurdly
really
expensive.
right?
You said
That
what?
one's clean. Like that one, there's like
I believe so. I think that one's like
Yeah,
fully clean.
there's no weathering.
right.
Yeah, because they did the R2D2 as well. Tamashi did the R2, and then again, that one hasn't really sold for that much for a while. Just
Kevin
because-
had the R2, and that was really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. They do
Kenny
great
Baker
stuff.
features and
Raider
stuff.
Trumbull.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, is this the video? I think it is where he shows the side by side of the episode 2.
I'm not sure because I haven't watched it.
Because
Yes.
yeah,
yes,
that's
okay.
really striking. when you talk about there's weathering on this one, but
How
when
do you
compare
like
it to
how
that
the paintwork and stuff on the here in the midsection with the wiring?
Oh, I think it looks
You like
great.
how it turned out?
I think it looks great, and like I said with the episode 2 one, I love that it's not just painted. That there's actually like each wire
there's
is
physical like
yeah.
whether they're real wires or not, they could be manmanufactured, but either it's fantastic. It's not just painted on like sculpted portions.
I think this is where I think that because I was asking with the Tamashii Nation thing and everything, whereas I think that one still is kind of quote the gold standard for the 3POs, but this one is okay. That's the gold, but this one is like 1A, maybe 1B ish, kind of,
Yeah.
But I'm just really happy they finally got I know they already did Attack of the Clones, but this is the 3PO that we think of, when anybody thinks of Star Wars, and even in like Ahsoka or something, he was looking like this, clean and gold. This is the look to the character.
Well, question for you guys though, since we're talking about the clean look, how many people cleaned off the weathering on that Beskar Mando
that's a good question.
too? I wonder if there's going to be anybody. I'm sure there's going to be that cleans this one up because they don't want to wait for a full clean version.
I think somebody said they tried and it was hard to do, like harder to do than.
That's right. Maybe because the type of I don't know if this is like vacuum metallized or how they achieve this finish, but maybe it's because the type of finish. It's possible.
The only thing that is a little disappointing, and this is just the thing, is where right here you have the cut, the eyes lit up versus the eyes not lit up, and this is a problem for any time. This is like I can think of my own collection being able to see the Dark Trooper with the eyes and everything lit up in that thing versus having them turned off, where you can still see it and it looks okay, but you're like, man, I really wish I could keep the eyes lit up because it really does just
it would have been nice if we had USB power for these, especially like you said for the Dark Trooper, for this one, for the other 3PO. It would have been
but I understand it's not something I'm going to hammer. I'm not going to hammer Hot Toys for it. It just but if I can say 98% of the rest of the figure I think is great, except they didn't have that one tiny thing. You know what? Just
you can live with it,
cool, man. Yeah, that's cool, man.
No, I totally agree.
The 3 dots do still kind of pop a little bit when they're not lit, which is cool. Speaking of pop,
that's cool. That is cool.
That is cool. What's another nice thing about this figure for me personally is that it makes me feel less guilty about having the battle droid head on the episode 2 body. Because I can have fun and display that one now in sort of like a battle scene, and then R2 can be dragging his head. And then at least, on another shelf, I've got a proper 3PO. You know what I mean?
It's really the personality of the character shining through, right? He's goofy, he's always getting into some sort of trouble. So it's really cool to see Hot Toys give us those options.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use this eye being pulled out, but I still think it's a really cool idea. A really nice, like simple accessory that kind of changes the look and kind of reminds you of a scene, a moment for the character, which I think is really cool.
Bro, you made fun of me for it, how impressed I was with the Attack of the Clones, and that made me jump the gun even sooner to get this guy that I sold my
You're leaving out You're leaving out. I didn't make fun of you for liking it. I just laughed at the way you described the weight of the figure. You're over here telling people I made fun.
Dude, I was so surprised. I was so surprised.
You couldn't get it out of the box, right? I remember. Like you were like a UPS guy that couldn't carry it to your.
It was like falling. Yeah, it was falling to the ground. No, I was just laughing because in this video he's like, "Guys, this is so heavy." He's over here telling people I made fun of him because he liked the figure. I love that figure.
It was. I thought it was more substantial than the Iron Man I have.
In your defense, dude, yeah, it's heavier than RoboCop. It's heavier than Iron Man.
Yeah, RoboCop actually has a decent amount of plastic on him.
Yeah, like he's a heavy figure, man. He's not
Speaking of plastic, guys, Buzz Lightyear.
That's and I like the weather on this. I think it gives it a more metallic look, makes it more realistic to me.
A lot of depth.
I still think he's still shiny as well. Yeah. So I'm super excited to bring this into the collection.
Me too. I can't wait. Carlito says, I think this is the best version of C-3PO. I think this is the best version of C-3PO. I think that's what he's trying to say. It's what he looked like throughout most of the original trilogy. He wasn't chromed in a lot of scenes. Yeah, I mean, and like Chris said, it has some weathering. You know, that has that weathering that kind of gives it the depth and kind of adds more realism to it for sure. I'm always a big fan of weathering as long as it's kind of done correctly. There's a difference between good and poor weathering.
Well, you remember the Chrome Mando? A lot of people complained about
and I loved it. I loved the weathering on it. Was it a little bit heavy-handed? You could argue that, sure, but I loved it. I didn't feel the need to clean mine off. I have it exactly the way
it is. Han Solo Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
See, and I'm glad it's Return of the Jedi because that's what I collect for my OT section over here.
And outside of like a medal ceremony,
Daniel's autograph too.
Oh,
I didn't sell it with the sideshow one. I just sold the figure by itself. It's a fun mess.
Nice.
So I won't even use this bait. I'll take the nameplate maybe because I have a custom one.
Yeah.
But he's gonna go on the autograph.
Another thing. No, sorry to interrupt you, bro.
That was
sorry. Okay. No, another nice thing about this figure.
He didn't say anything. He's like,
yeah, way to make it
right,
awkward. Right. But another nice thing about this 3PO is that he'll pair nicely with the Episode 2 R2. Because like that's not overly dirty or overly weathered, and this 3PO is not like a ceremony, medal ceremony clean 3PO, so they'll go together.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great, and Cigar's a great idea as well. You guys are coming up with some great ideas at the same time. Cigar said you could use the swap in a human hand for that classic mistake in the film. That's a great
idea.
Yeah, another thing Connor makes fun of me for is my sideshow R2, but I got him with the Jabba's palette, the drink tray, so that's where he's going to go next to.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I think it'll look fine next to it.
I have that sideshow R2. Yeah, you're right.
Man, this is like regular 3PO and charcoal 3PO hanging out together.
Yeah, crispy.
Yeah, so this is a really cool comparison, though. Like Mike said, like you really get to see the difference in weathering, and it doesn't look so heavy-handed after all once you see them next to each other, because obviously the Attack of the Clones one is very heavily weathered. Completely different look.
Get the Phantom Menace droid?
You said what?
I think we'll get the protocol from Phantom Menace.
I hope so, dude. That kind of raw look with like all the raw parts and everything, that would be amazing.
I was wondering that too.
I mean, why wouldn't they? They've already done two. Why not another one? I could definitely.
They could do that, and then the server one.
They could.
As well.
Yeah, they could do that one as well.
That shiny.
I guess the guy she tells you not to worry about is the chrome one, right? We got. Big Doll Pound said that group of figures looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, TK's got all the big heavy hitters for Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars guy, so that was such a great idea to kind of put them all together and kind of set that scene for how this is going to look in your guys' displays. One Adam 12 says Hot Toys went in a Chinese New Year break with a new Han Solo and came back with Kenobi Vader and C-3PO and said, "How you like me now?" And yeah, and then we also got the Superior Suit Spider-Man and the Black Adam. 2 Black Adams, in fact. They said, "Oh, you pre-ordered one of them?" Or you pre-order both of them, don't matter. You got all of them. So
if you were not feeling, if you guys been playing no DXs, well, here you go. Here's like 4 of them or 5 of them in a week.
So guys, we're gonna move on. C-3PO is really exciting. Again, big shout out to TK for the video, guys. Check him out if you haven't already, and check out Beskar. Completely forgot that Beskar already put up his video for this guy. So check out his quick unboxing if you like that format. And I'm sure it's gonna look pretty awesome in his video as well. So, guys. Man,
I love that's my favorite. That's like my favorite photo that they did.
Dude. So we had this conversation popping up around this figure, about I didn't like the film much, but this figure is amazing, and guys, I mean, holy crap!
Yeah, right now, that is a good. I know we've talked about it sometimes before. Is that do we like the figure? But with so many figures getting announced and so many figures coming. Do you need to really like whatever the license is, or at least whatever the show or movie or what they're from, before you pick up the figure?
This one, Lane, I think it checks a lot of boxes there, right?
Yeah.
But
I can understand where you got a waiver. You got a waiver because he's a price point too. He's a pretty expensive figure.
And this guy, I think he's waitlisted in a lot of places. But I mean, come on now. Holy crap.
It's a beautiful figure.
This sculpt is nasty. They did a great job on
too, and everything as well. So it's also got that too.
But the reason I mentioned Chris is like if you're a wrestling fan, the signature eyebrow raise right here, that almost gets you right there. If you're looking for a Dwayne figure, if you're a big fan of The Rock, right? So it's like, dude, like
this is the closest you're gonna get.
Yeah,
If I had him, I'd definitely have him doing a people's elbow on somebody.
Right. So there's going to be a lot of people memeing with this one for sure. I saw a comparison actually with the Roadblock head sculpt because The Rock played the Roadblock. I said the Roadblock. The Rock played Roadblock years ago, and people were comparing that sculpt. And though that sculpt does not look bad at all for its age, this is just next level, man. I mean, there's a lot to digest with this figure, right? Because there's so much good going on. You got USB powered light up chests, and I don't know if you guys noticed the golden armor and the black suit right here. They have a different look to the chest logo because obviously as he transforms into that golden armor version, the chest logo is like more clean. It's more bright. The logo's more opened up. But how good is that cloak look, man? And
yeah,
the custom body for the figure, like mimicking the Rock's proportions. There's just so much to like about this one, right? I mean, he just looks so good. Yeah, I mean, who's picking this one up? You guys know, I actually really loved this movie. I left the theater, and there's something that Mike and I were talking about. A lot of people have brought up. I left the theater really loving this, not only loving this movie, but loving the future of this character. And then 2 weeks later, Henry Cavill is out as Superman, and we got that little tease at the end. We got to see Cavill with the curl and everything, and like boom, everybody's heart sank, everybody's let down. But for me, Chris, and again, that's a big topic of conversation. For me, that doesn't ruin, the moment that the moments I enjoyed this film. I know it's not for everybody. I loved this film. I really did. I think The Rock really poured his heart and soul into this character because this was very much like a project he was very involved with, other than just being an actor.
It's just too bad it cost so much money. That's the big thing that kind of doomed it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, for better or for worse, this figure is basically sold out everywhere from what I've seen. So it did sell,
the fact that he was saying he didn't want to do it without Henry, and now it's like completely just.
Yeah.
So I'm better than the last 5 movies we got from the last 4 movies we got from the DCEU. It was better than all of those.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And exactly. Cigars is right. There's going to be a lot of people that are utilizing this head sculpt for a custom. I was thinking that. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. And, how cool is this going to be to make yourself a Rock figure? Now, obviously, it's not going to be the younger Rock where he had hair and everything, which would be my preferred version of the Rock because that's back when I watched wrestling. But either way, it's going to make for a really cool
I'm considering
custom.
Getting it. I might. I don't know if I can flip it right now because I didn't pre-order it and I got a lot of other stuff I'm paying for. But if I were to get this one, I don't really like. I like the gold armor version way more than this version, except for the cloak.
Zombie brings up that point. Sorry, I cut you off, Connor.
No, and I was about to bring this up. So, Mike, you could share your thoughts on it, and I have thoughts on it as well. Zombie says a little bit of contention in the community about not giving the gold variant the hooded cloak. Now, Mike, I'm sure you're aware of what originally transpired. So, share that with them, and then we'll kind of talk about that because I've seen a lot of comments about that.
Well, yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, but in the original, I guess, announcement pictures of this, it was the golden armor was pictured in, like the composite photos where they have like everything it's supposed to come with. One of them did show him with the cloak in the original one. And then Hot Toys made a kind of an updated post and said, hey, we pride ourselves in film accuracy. And, when he transitions into this look, he's got a cape. So we're going to replace that with a cape. And so I guess that's what happened there. And I could see, if you pre-ordered the figure and then missed that post or something, you're probably like, hey, what the heck happened here? That's about as far as I got with the controversy.
No, I mean, you're right on the money there. That's exactly what happened. And guys, I understand if you pre-ordered it and you're like, okay, this is not what I wanted. I wanted the cloak look. But in terms of what he actually looks like in the film when he transitions in that golden armor look, he's not wearing the cloak. So Hot Toys noticed that mistake and said, we're going to give him the proper cape that he should have. And for those of you guys that don't know, typically when stuff like that happens, like if you've already pre-ordered, that's grounds for you to get your NRD back. Like you can reach out and cancel your order and say, hey, this is not what was presented to me when I pre-ordered it. And that's grounds to get your NRD back through many different outlets. So if you didn't utilize that at the time, I don't know like how it works now. I will say this though, and I'm calling so Chris actually has his little like static statue that he did of Black Adam, and he's holding up the cheese. And if you guys agree with me, sure, let me know. But I think this cloak accessory is going to go for a lot of money. I think a lot of people are like, I still want the figure because I like this character and I want it, but I want that cloak.
And I know a lot of people say like you can just get a cloak, but the way this cloak is in the front and all that, if you really want it, it's very unique.
Yeah.
So,
and look at all the wiring. Like, I'm very hopeful for this wiring.
I think how much this cloak is going to go for in the secondary market.
That's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be crazy.
I think so too.
This is actually my preferred look from if I was going to get this figure. I like this a lot.
It's so hard for me. I got both, guys. I got both. Beskar says, I enjoyed it too. I've seen this movie about a dozen times. I think I've seen it twice, but I really enjoyed it. And a dozen times, I hope you're getting at least one of these. I don't Beskar, do you collect non-Star Wars? Blu-ray. Am I crazy?
Wait, what?
What'd you say, Lane?
I was just saying I own it on Blu-ray.
Are you getting this, Lane?
I'm considering. As of right now, no. But I'm considering that I might try and get the gold armor. But my biggest holdback is I want the cloak. Like that, literally,
yeah.
I don't care for as much this look of it. I really like the gold lighting. That really is for me the aesthetic that I like much more.
Right.
But I need the cloak, man. It bothers me, kind of like how like with the gold gauntlet, the leg, and all. And I'm not saying I like him with still the cape. Like the cape still looks really good. I just don't like him without the cape or the cloak on. Something for the suit doesn't translate as much for me.
Really?
But I usually with the heroes and villains, if they have cloak capes or something like that, I always prefer them with them on. The big thing with the thing that I have with this figure is I think the aesthetic just came out so good with it and everything. And I think the light up feature for this is cool because it's there. It's not quite as in your face as much. Like it's kind of really there just with the light up symbol and stuff. I think they really did a nice job with that.
Yeah.
The base, I'm kind of like the diorama base to it.
It's like a kind of like a mini throne for him to sit on.
Yeah, well, because I know some people like it because Queen's doing literally a statue quarter scale, which is him sitting on the throne.
Yeah,
without it, like so. But I think if you like this character, if you want, because obviously they made this, they put out. There's 2 different statue versions of him that are coming out too. This is, if you can track it down, is going to be the most affordable option that came out looking really, really good. There's all the Hot Toys releases recently are all banging.
Yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, like it's really not too bad. It's a pricey figure, so I don't want to say not too bad for those that really can't shell out that amount of money. But just in the grand scheme of things, like other options, and for what you get here, you get the 2 head sculpts, you get this diorama base, you get the USB power for the chest.
If you're getting the other one, I can understand if you just got the regular edition though. Over the lessons, that one's difference is pretty much.
It would have been cool to see his eyes light up too, like what they did with Superman stuff. Like,
what do you guys think?
Sorry, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, what do you guys think is a minor issue, but of his name being molded into the base? On one hand, I think that's like a pretty classy look. On the other hand, it could take away from the realism of that base and reusability of it if you wanted to put it in with another character.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends on the collector. For me, it doesn't bother me, but I have seen like environmental bases where it doesn't work. For this one, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But there is a time and place for it. So for this one, I'm like, I don't mind it too much. Really quickly, Collectors Republic, great to see. Collectors Republic says, I prefer the gold version because the city came with a cloak. I guess this version came with a cloak. Now I'm going to have to go with a custom cloak or make my own. Yeah, I mean, again, Cigars mentioned it was kind of like a bait and switch type thing. It wasn't ideal. If you pre-ordered the figure, even though it was inaccurate, if you pre-ordered the figure wanting that cloak look, I almost feel like Hot Toys maybe should have just kind of bit the bullet there and included both, just because.
And the cape looks cool. This cape that comes with the gold looks really cool.
I'm telling you right now, though, I'm looking at this wiring, and I don't know if it's just a video, but it looks a little bouncy.
Yeah, but it's not as cool as the.
Most of them are bouncy, though.
Right, and that's like the wiring that we don't like.
But it looks a little bit thicker or heavier of a material than, like, say, Black Suit Superman.
It does. So I have faith that in person. Now, the thing with the cape that's really interesting is the attachment point. Lane reached out to me, and he was like, it's a little, like, too much. Like, you got to unscrew screws. I think this is genius. So, for those of you guys, I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts once it actually shows it. But the cape is very interesting how it attaches. You pull like the whole, like, it's kind of like the Flash, the Ezra Miller Flash figures where the whole kind of neck piece comes off. There's 2 pegs, and you'll see it. It's underneath the head sculpt and the neck piece. And the cape just kind of sits over it. The 2 holes slot over the 2 pegs underneath the neck piece, and then you screw it back down. And you're good to go. And it looks very good how it's attached. I think it's very seamless.
Better than the DX19 or like that type of thing.
Yeah, they were able to get away with that. Yeah, the DX19 doesn't come with the best cape, but they're able to get away with that attachment method because kind of how it looks in the film. With this one, it's such like a seamless look. They kind of had to improve the design a little bit, and I think this is awesome. Does it suck to pull out a screwdriver? Sure, but it's such a minor inconvenience in my opinion for an overall like nice look that they've achieved here. And look how seamless that transition is between having the cape on and the visible
I did not even
line.
think it's separated there. That's how good that
cool.
looks.
But you're not going to be doing this very often. So,
right, you put it on if you want the cape. If you don't want the cape, you have them like this. Now, going back to MB Dyson, if you're still here, I did not forget your comment. I didn't really read it out because, we weren't on Black Adam yet. But now that we're here, MB Dyson did make a good point, though. I think for me, this is like the only thing I'm not huge on. Is the way that you have to open up the back. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Like the InArt Superman. How
that's what I was just about to say.
It pegs into the back and you have to unzip the zipper. I'm definitely there with you on that. It's a little weird of a design. However, it's like, what was the better option? I don't know. I couldn't, from a design standpoint, I don't know. It's just not very appealing in terms of how it looks. Like maybe they could have done like a little flap on the back where you can kind of snake it through there.
Like Electro.
Exactly, like Electro, how he had that little flap. Maybe that was the better way to do it.
Be careful putting these on when you're putting on like the effects and stuff like that on the arms.
Yeah, I mean, at least with these, the plastic is a little bit softer, so it's a bit more forgiving. But yeah, you got to be, with a lot of this stuff, you got to be a little bit more careful. Beskar says better engineering than what they did with the Padme neck peg. Yeah, I don't have it yet, so I can't speak on that.
I saw the video of it. It's like, neck peg with like this white thing. Like,
oh yeah, it's like the clips, kind of like those stupid little clips. They need to stop.
Looks pretty breakable, and it looks like you have to be like really dead on with it. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get.
Yeah, they need to stop with those. Like they did it with with Andrew and Toby. They had that design with those little clips. Ekwan is here. Ekwan says, I could see why there is controversy about... Sorry, what'd you say?
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm saying hers are worse. Like, they're smaller.
Yeah. That definitely worries me. Ekwan says, I could see why there's controversy about the cloak for the golden version, but it's not screen accurate. Don't people complain about accuracy all the... Yeah, again, like, it's really a double-edged sword. I can't be mad at people for complaining because that's what they were presented before they put their money up. So I can't be mad at that. However, bringing sense into it, I'm like, I understand the change by Hot Toys. I'm not really, for one side or the other. Me personally, I'm getting both versions, so it doesn't affect me. But with that being said, it's so funny. I think my girlfriend's using something with RFID because my lights are changing, so she's probably turning on the lights in another room. But yeah, for me, it doesn't affect me personally because I am getting both versions. But if I was just getting one, I do understand being like, okay, well, that kind of sucks because I liked that cloak look. Again, I think because of that, I think it's really going to shoot up the price on that cloak because it's going to be supply and demand, right? We know how that works. The more people looking for it, the higher the price tag is going to be. So
yeah, I bet Hot Toys would have just left it if they weren't swapping it with a cape.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they would have just taken something away.
Exactly.
I think so they felt justified by removing it and giving you the more accurate look. So I do agree with what he's saying.
Exactly. Ian says, I really love how this looks. Genuinely enjoyed the film. Damn shame it wasn't a hit. Wish I was getting this. I've got way too much on pre-order right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. unless you're a big DC fan, this one definitely is going to fall to the wayside.
It would go nice if you have a DC, extended universe collection of figures already. You have some of the Supermans or Batmans or something. This is a good figure if you have those, even though he wasn't in like Justice League or something. He would go naturally just into that kind of setup or something.
Yeah, he falls into that category of like, it looks great, but for me,
even though Black Adam is a Shazam bad guy, not a Superman bad guy, and that's who he fights.
Cigar says, if you look back, the Velcro can be closed tighter. The wire is thin. The reviewer just didn't do it. Yeah, and I'm sure with some like in your hands messing around with a little bit more, you could probably hide it better. Again, is it a huge deal to me? No, but if I had to pick one thing, because that's really the only thing I don't like about this figure.
Will this guy width-wise and everything probably be about similar size to Paz and Wrecker?
Oh, I don't think. I think Wrecker's probably bigger than he is.
I think Wrecker's probably Wrecker's probably the biggest, and then he's probably similar in stature to Paz. But it's going to be interesting to see this one in person, because I've seen it in people's hands in Hong Kong, and I'm like, holy crap, that figure is like pretty giant. The Rock's a big guy, and he's very muscular, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to see in person.
He wanted to actually fit the suit, which is so commendable. Like Henry, like these guys actually have the bulk.
Right, exactly. Like this is all the Rock. There's no padding here. Originally they presented him with a suit that was padded. Right, not like Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, where he's a really skinny guy, and that's kind of like the whole thing behind the character. He has a padded suit.
But he's not as big as he thinks he is. I think this, because I can see where some people didn't love the suit quite as much in the live action movie, but I think that both this suit translated into collectible form, whether figure or statue form, like it just translates really good. I think especially into figure form like this.
The suit looks great. Those details in the suit are beautiful. It really is. And the biggest question a lot of us have, obviously, is how's that material in person? That's what my biggest concern is. I want to be able to pose
we got that with all these figures. I mean, we got the Catwoman. Even though it's 2.0, we're worrying about that. I will say, as much as I like this, though, with the special effects and stuff, so far of figures, I don't know if I would say this one tops Dead Strange to me. But I think for like kind of the comics hero villain figure, I'm not including Darth Vader. I mean, leaving out with Star Wars, but some of the superhero stuff we've had, I don't know if that tops Dead Strange to me. But I have that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they are two completely different figures, so I don't even want to compare them. But Beskar says Wrecker is just a bit taller than Paz and a bit thicker. Yeah. And, I have Wrecker in my collection. I love how the sculpt kind of looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm a big Arnold fan, so for me, I'm like, this is perfect. I love this. It definitely looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll have to send you that picture they showed of that half-scale Conan the Barbarian that's coming. That'll wait.
Dude, I almost got that third-party Conan, but I just wasn't a huge fan of the head sculpt. Like, it wasn't terrible. They definitely improved it from the prototype, but
I'll show you which is showing Arnold's pec as it's being painted. And you're going to be like, well, that's going to look good. But this is cool, too.
Yeah, bro. So, guys, this is going to be our final topic for the night. 51 people watching. Like Peyton said, if you haven't already, please drop a like. Pump them numbers up. I would very much appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost at, what are we at right now? 2.34K. So almost 2.35K. Can't believe that we're here, guys. I very much appreciate you guys with all the support. You guys are awesome. Final topic of the night, guys. Peter Parker, Superior Suit. I got schooled by a lot of you comic guys. Shout out to Carlito and Cigars and Bacon. They schooled me. Not necessarily in the fact that I was like, oh, I know what this is. I truly didn't know. They explained to me the whole backstory, how this is Doc Ock in here. This is not Peter Parker. This is Doc Ock in this suit, apparently. I didn't.
Well, it's Peter's body.
Right, it's being controlled by Doc. Yeah. Sorry, I should have worded that a little better. But I didn't know about that backstory because I'm not a big comic person. So Cigars, especially, like really went into depth with me and explained to me like the appearance of the Superior Suit, like the backstory behind it. I'm like, that's really cool, and it's one of those things you would never really know about from just playing the video game, or just seeing this figure.
I was just about to say, there's a couple backwards things in that video game that I saw from my wife's brother playing the game, and I was like, that's a strange universe.
Yeah, it's really interesting, but
it's cool that they honored a lot of comic suits.
Right, I think Insomniac is kind of the people's champ right now when it comes to Spider-Man content, because they're doing suits like this that obviously a lot of people, from what I understand, it's a really important comic to a lot of people, a comic line.
Yeah.
But bro, like, I can't tell you, I fell in love with this figure so quickly.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Like when I saw this, I'm like, dude, and I was
It's
telling
really,
Mike,
really
I'm like, dude, what would it hurt, you know, if you really wanted to give him a Darth Vader lightsaber and have like a Sith Spider-Man, you know,
Yeah.
it's just, dude, this is
Or-
just beautiful, man.
Dude, put some spider legs, like chop your Clone Wars Maul in half and put some spider legs
Yeah,
on him.
why
and
not,
then,
right?
You
could have a lot
revving
of-
this, Connor?
Yeah, dude. I've already, so I have every Spider-Man, whether it's in hand or on pre-order from the game. Obviously, I haven't been able to play the game yet because I'm on PC, so I'm just enjoying these figures and avoiding all spoilers possible. Thankfully, it has been too bad. But dude,
I almost gave you one, so it's a good thing I didn't say anything.
yeah, no, this suit is beautiful, man, and you know I have the Miles and the Advanced Suit 2.0 in hand, and those figures are really beautiful. Like the Miles is pretty bare bones in terms of what he includes, but that Advanced Suit 2.0 is like easily one of the better Spider-Mans they've ever, you know, for a lot of people probably the best that they've ever released. It's just such a fantastic group of figures. And then we got that massive Venom on pre-order, which is really exciting. And you know, the first line of video game suits, apart from the Advanced Suit, didn't really appeal to me as much. I feel like this time around, these suits are just more appealing to me, you know. And I know the Miles, this is basically a reissue, just with a slightly different look. It's very similar to the original suit, and it comes with less. But again, this line as a whole just really appealed to me for like a Spideyverse display. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Once again, like this figure opens up a lot of opportunities with all these different parts and everything.
Yeah.
You could make it work. I love like the vicious look to these legs too. Like, you know, it kind of has that evil look to it, and it just works, man. And
Hot Toys is getting its money out of those leg R&D.
they are, but these, I will say, these are slightly different than like the ones that come with the Advanced Suit 2.0. Like they have these little like, you know, thorns and stuff. It's just those subtle differences though, Lane, just really like
The coloration for them is great. Like these really, I think, even more than say them with the goo on the black suit or something, like with this suit, that red, I think that is like, for coloration on those legs, I think that is my favorite look coloration wise for them.
Dude, and those the red legs and the contrast with like the primarily black suit.
Like that's a comic cover. You know, like they crushed this
So
suit,
close
man.
to it, man.
They crushed it.
And I love like the little kind of like, I love how the spider logo rests like right in the center of the chest, and it kind of has that dipped look to it. The black lenses being like very like sleek looking. It just, bro, this is a beautiful figure.
I
It
prefer
almost
the thinner
reminds
one.
me of Andrew's mask. I mean, his were kind of dark yellow tinted lenses, but sometimes when I see it, it's hard not to see that.
Yeah,
So, but
dude. And,
this looks very like aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
yeah, look
It
at like
really
Chris,
does.
look at like the subtle, like look at the pattern on the spider logo. You really got to get close to see these details, but just bro, this suit is gorgeous.
And I've always liked the like imperfect randomized spider webbing on it.
Yeah, with like the overlapping and stuff. I
Yeah.
love that, dude. It's just this is great, and you can see it on the shoulders as well, and all throughout the suit. This is a great looking figure, man, and like Cigars said, like the DLC's coming out soon. I think that's just going to reinvigorate the hype behind this game.
Oh,
If
yeah.
that DLC really catches a lot of people's attention, like the original launch of the game did.
No
And
doubt.
I think it's safe to say that Hot Toys probably isn't done yet. Maybe they got a couple more in the tank because they went pretty hard. Off the top of my head, I don't remember how many they did for the first game, but they did quite a
Look
bit.
at Cigars, what he's saying about it all.
Cigars says Carnage with his kids, Black Cat in Paris, Venom Birth, Chameleon, Across the Spider-Verse DLC said to be coming. They plan on dropping mini suits from Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, dude.
That'd be
And
sick.
that's the other line, the Across the Spider-Verse line. They did some really incredible stuff, especially when they fixed that 2099. You know, some people might not be a fix. For me, it's totally a fix. I love that 2099 Miguel O'Hara suit after they fixed it. So, yeah, and I don't think the price is too bad on this one either, Zombie. I think it was what
What is it?
I think it was $285. I think so because it was like $290 through off the racks.
Okay.
So yeah, this is such a fantastic piece, man. I'm really excited to pick this one up again. You know, I really, this time around in the second game, I really much more fell in love with the offerings from Hot Toys than the first time around. I just think they're doing some really cool stuff. Especially, again, that advanced suit is just beautiful. The proportions, the way the suit fits to the body, the musculature is showing underneath. And again, with this one, same case, it just looks great. They did a great job. So I'm really excited about this one. I know a lot of people probably won't pick this one up. But
285.
285.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, 290 through Off the Racks. That makes sense. Guys, also link in the description for Off the Racks. This figure is available. And 290, that price is out the door.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
great.
you're curious, when you go through Sideshows, 285 plus taxes plus shipping. Of course, you have rewards and stuff, so you could definitely utilize those. But 290 is out the door, so it's a pretty fantastic price. And I know he is still available through Off the Rack, so definitely check him out. Yeah, and EN, that is the one that everybody always brings up, is they want that Mark I armor suit. So many people want that one. It's not my favorite look personally, but I think in figure form it would be really dope. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that one. It's not really that complicated of a design either.
It would probably complete people's lines like a Hall of Armor. It's like the missing.
Yeah, and it's kind of that glimpse of kind of like that Iron Spider-esque vibe you get from
Could
that
be an
armor.
anniversary thing. You never know. Maybe they left some stuff on the table for future.
You never know. Yeah, you never know.
It's what's fun about it. Like everybody has a suit that they want to see.
Yeah, and where is Hot Toys' decision process on what suit they buy? We don't know, or they make. We don't know, but I think so far they're doing pretty solid. Like again, this one. Unexpected, but a welcome surprise for a lot of us.
Oh, no doubt, man.
Hey, Connor, one thing can I do, since you were mentioning OTR, I want to do one shout out for OTR. Anybody in our chat right now? If you guys are looking for the Batman and Bat Signal combo pack, which has been waitlisted and stuff, Off the Racks does have it in stock right now.
He still has it. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's still there.
for $5.15. That it's been up there for a couple days. I think since the weekend. Sorry, I know that's not related to Superior Spider-Man at all, but I did want to mention anybody if you are looking for that specific version of it or you've been considering it, he has it in stock right now for $5.15 shipped. So
let me
that might
find
change
that
5
real
minutes
quick.
from now.
So there's Superior suit, guys, from Off the Racks, and then I will get
Yep.
you a link. So it's not in stock. It does say pre-order, but Lane is correct. It is still there. So you can actually, I guess, drop a pre-order and spend $15 and secure that set. So there's the Bat Signal set as well if you've been looking for that. Crazy they got him back in stock because basically nowhere has it. And when I tell you that's, I'm probably still going to do a video on it, but that's easily one of the best Hot Toys sets ever made for me personally. You guys might disagree.
This is what's so crazy, man. We're not even into March yet. And I know we're not getting all of them right now, but like, bro, we got here in the United States, we got so many good figures. I mean, we were just talking about Dead Strange didn't come that long. That was like, hey, that could be a figure of the year type thing when you look at the whole thing. We've got finally the Toby Spider-Man, I guess, was a little bit of a mixed bag or whatever, but we're finally going to get in hand the Toby. Oh boy, this Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, we're not gonna spend too much time on this, but yeah, like Lane said, we have Rogue from Mondo, and
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm a big X-Men animated series. I mean, I was watching this when I was a kid, like every single on Saturday morning, every time. I love that head sculpt, even though that is from a completely different X-Men show that came out about 12 years
Lane,
later.
look at Mondo's famous for doing these exclusive timed editions. Look what you get with the timed. Missing out on this one, I'd be so mad I wouldn't even get the regular version.
There's a lot of value in this one.
Yeah,
no doubt.
My only thing is I hate two of the head sculpts. I don't think they look right. This one, the smiling with the wink, I know exactly when that's taken from, and then that in the other head sculpt, they look really weird to me. Like her angry face. I don't like how, but either one, I don't like how either one of those look. Something about them just looks really weird.
But we at least gotta commend them though. I think Lane for 5 head sculpts. That's insane. That's actually really dope.
And one that people wouldn't have thought of, but that's the goth Rogue is definitely probably that. This is her in my iconic look, but a lot of people who know it from the animated series and other stuff, that is probably one of her most well-liked looks because of the kind of goth girl.
Yeah, that Sentinel head's pretty cool too. That's a nice little touch. I like that smoke effect.
This is the only. Sorry. Do they do the the brother cousin's booty check on this one? I'm just curious. I
This one
That's a
does.
good question.
I think I remember this one. I don't know if they've shown exactly the booty, but I think this one actually has.
Just
This
because
has
if you go
90s
back
booty.
and watch this show, I mean, she was like a really in the '90s. Like we weren't afraid to have beautiful, voluptuous.
She was built. She was
And we
definitely
got
built
we got
in
the
old
trailer
style.
right
And-
for the '97 X-Men animated series on Disney Plus. That's really exciting.
Yeah,
Did you say
Yeah, but
everybody
very different,
focused
though.
on her
Yeah.
on the one shot of her rear end and went, "What happened?"
that's
So
what I'm
they were
saying.
pulling up that
Yeah,
old
yeah.
Apocalypse
That's what I was
scene.
getting at.
But I think they
Yeah.
included pretty much. What's really nice with I don't know what the price point is for this, but
I think these are usually.
I don't think
I
it's come
haven't
out
checked.
yet.
I think they're usually in the 285 range
Yeah.
for these
But
X-Men
I
figures.
think they included with the character about like anything you could possibly include with her. Like all the different stuff that you could possibly include because she doesn't, carry weapons like Cable or other stuff.
Yeah.
Although I think it's weird, Gambit's voice actor is playing Cable in the new series because he's 63. He can't hit the Cajun accent quite as much, which is funny, is because the guy who plays him, I remember playing Kwai Chang Cain's son in the
It's like, but
90s.
the ultimate question is, we'll pose this question and then we'll kind of close out. And I do the poll. I will close out the poll and we'll get our poll results at the end. How cautious are people going to be grabbing these unless they're really invested in the line? Because we know that Hono Studio is a thing now, and they're going to be doing a lot of classic X-Men stuff. And it's like, and then
yeah.
So
And they may
So
be-
Toys has done some really good classic X-Men stuff. So it's like, I feel like the people that are going for these really want that like really like pulled off the screen animated look with like the harsh lines making it look animated and stuff.
Like cell shading kind of.
Right, but it's like the tough thing with these is like they have the exposed joint. So there are trade-offs, but it's like, that first figure that we saw from Hot Toys for the Hono Studio line, that Wolverine is beautiful, and it's like,
Yeah.
if that's an indication of how hard they're going to, and for $160,
Oh yeah.
they're really just kind of saying like,
They're taking a bite out of Mondo's corner.
right.
of the
They're like,
market
oh,
here.
cool stuff, Mondo. Wait till you see what we got. And we already know we got a comic-inspired Thor coming, which is going to be huge, and we've
And a
got
Magneto.
Magneto.
coming. And
Yeah.
that's all. That's just that has been teased. I promise you guys, we're gonna get a Gambit. We're gonna get this probably a vast majority of the screen Sabretooth.
And it could be tied in with the X-Men, and they may use the X-Men 97 branding, which is going to be, some of them
I'm
could
sorry.
tie into that
I'm way
branding.
off with that price. Sorry, Lane, to cut you
Yeah.
off. I'm way 220.
You're thinking Masters of the Universe.
right.
price.
I'm thinking of the Motu line. You're right. Those are 285. I apologize.
Well-
Thank you, cigars.
So just to be clear, because I might be wrong, 220 should be for the standard of this. I would be shocked if it's 220 for the deluxe, right?
Let's see. Well,
Or
keep talking. Let me look it up.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. That'd be cool if they're all less expensive.
So
like,
well, no, I mean like some of the other ones, like the Batman's, like the Man Bat that was huge, 6 scale was expensive.
Yeah, he
I
was.
think it was over
But yeah,
300
he's
bucks.
gigantic. That was a massive piece.
But
So-
even Sabretooth here was like, I think he was around.
yeah, so
300
she's
or
actually 210.
Wow.
really?
I don't know. Is that the exclusive version? I doubt it. Let me
For
see.
Mondo,
I would
that's
assume
really-
exclusive would be like 250.
They don't. I'm not seeing the listing for the exclusive one. Is that not dropped?
Maybe
yet?
not yet. It's not rolling yet.
Yeah,
so-
she's not on here yet. But for the regular version, 210. I think maybe with 5 head sculpts, we're probably looking at make 235, maybe.
Yeah, or more. I mean,
Yeah.
like I kept myself just to the Wolverine on this one. I have the brown suit. I love it, but I just couldn't go. I just couldn't go all the way with this line. But for those that have, it's gonna be gorgeous.
So yeah, for sure, man. So apparently the exclusive version is 210, and Jeremy's saying it's sold out already. Let me see if I can find.
How can it be sold out already? I didn't even realize it went up.
Oh
for
well, they're
sale.
not wrong. No, it was 235 for the exclusive version. I was actually right on the money. 235.
Yeah.
It is sold out. Wow.
How the hell did it sell out already?
I don't
didn't even see
know.
it
I don't
go.
know. Oh, it was limited to 1,000 figures. That's why it wasn't a timed
Oh.
variant. It was a limited. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
interesting. Well,
Hmm.
if you
Hasta
wanna be,
luego. We look forward to spending $400 on the $500 on the deluxe.
I'm telling you, man. Mondo has its diehards, man. They're
Yeah.
great figures.
yeah, I
What
mean,
they bought by years ago by the makers of the Pops Funko?
So I think actually recently there's been another. I don't want to speak out of turn. I thought that there was like another acquisition of Mondo, but I could be wrong. I thought that was more recent.
Mondo, like I think you're right, but Mondo dropped their vinyl line and their art prints. Well, I'm sorry. They fired some people that were part of the team for producing the vinyls. They're still doing the vinyls, but I think they completely dropped the art print department, which sucks because they did some amazing prints.
Their art prints are so good.
So
Such
I
high
think
quality.
I think the stuff that they've had in the pipeline already is still releasing, but I think they plan on cutting that off completely.
It's a shame.
After a certain time.
Their vinyl is sick too, dude. Like I've got the Aliens Anniversary Edition, or Alien Anniversary Edition, I should say, with all that Soto artwork. Like they go above and beyond with their stuff, man. It's worth the price.
Yeah, before we close out, let me pull this up real quick. So this one says that here it is right here, the listing for the 235. This one says this is limited edition, just to 1,000 figures. So I'm guessing it's sold out. Like I'm guessing they put it up, and 1,000. I guess there's so many people that love these figures. I guess that's not a lot. That's I mean that is a lot. You see plenty of figures. Like for example, the Mondo Dark Wolf Comics exclusive. I think it's Dark Wolf, right? Is it Dark Wolf? I know there's an exclusive Doom Guy figure, and that one was limited to 666. Shocker, and it didn't sell out. So that one's still available. So that just shows you the demand. Unless they haven't put this one up, but I feel like they did, right? Because usually it goes right up when they announce it. So 1,000, that went pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
They do, yeah. It's frustrating to go. There's a lot of print places that you miss it, you're off by a second, you're done. Like I've got a lot of like limited prints that I've gone for, and some I've been able to get, and it's like a victory on its own when you get it because it's so competitive. And it's not only like people going for it, it's the bots.
Oh yeah.
No, so it's the Dark Horse Direct one is the green colorway. The crimson I think is still available in Mondo. I think so. Let me see. Now I need to check this. Hold on. Yeah, so this is here's the one I was talking about, cigars. I've been contemplating it, but I've been hearing mixed reviews on it. But yeah, so see, this one was limited to, let's see, I think it was 666.
I think it's sick.
Yep, edition size 666, and this one is still available. So that says something for that one selling out with 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, 1,000 is like, I mean, that's a good size. Like that's not you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's
cigars.
A good
this one is the green one, and it says Dark Horse Direct exclusive. I thought that the crimson one is available through Mondo still. So did they do 2 Dark Horse Direct exclusives, one green and one red? Because I haven't seen or did they do? I don't know. Either way, this is the one I was talking about. I've been looking at it. It's just I feel like for $295, it's a little pricey. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be a little bit cheaper. I mean, they do deals every once in a while. Huh?
What's further down if you scroll?
I don't know. I think that's it.
Is that Master Chief down there?
Yeah. Don't get too excited. It's a PVC statue.
I mean, I know they did 6-scale figures before, like a different company, but they're not all that great. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, like with the Doom Guy, I just feel like it's a little too expensive for what it is. Like $295, it's hard to justify. And I played the original Doom games a lot as a kid, and I enjoyed the newer Doom games. I think they did a great job on the newer Doom games. I had a lot of fun on those. It's just I don't know if I could justify $295, especially when I've seen videos of it and the paint apps just look a little weird. But guys, we're gonna wrap it up now. Thank you so much. We're 2 hours in, much longer than I expected, but we really got lost talking about. I'm gonna end the poll as well. Don't worry. We got lost talking about Vader, but it's a good reason to be upset.
Yeah, that's fun.
Cigar says the Crimson is a Dark Horse Direct, but they allowed Mondo to sell on their site because it was a con exclusive. I gotcha. So I guess they did multiple Dark Horse Direct. I've never actually even heard of that website until I saw that figure. I guess they're normally dealing with like exclusive comics and stuff like that. Yeah, Fat Batman. I would love to see like a Halo 3 version of Master Chief in 1/6 scale form. Yep. They've had I think 1 or 2 in the past, and I know they did.
And it's crappy.
Yeah, 3A did the Halo Reach Spartans, which I heard were pretty.
Yeah,
decent.
They had like Echo and. No, you heard wrong. Because Kevin had some of them. They're not that great.
People are paying.
They're
for
like
them,
noodles below the waist.
People are paying for them, so they must.
Hey,
be good
some
enough.
of us are,
Just for the
Yeah.
representation, you got to put like double-sided tape or blue tack under their feet just for them to stand.
Yeah, some people, they must be paying for them because those figures go for a ton of money. But
Because it's the only version you can get of them if you want them.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like at a certain point though, you got to be like, okay, it's not worth this amount of money. It's like there's definitely
Gotta
Bro,
stand up
look
for
at what they
yourself.
were doing with the Beetlejuice, so you can't really.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, again, it's not worth $800. That original Beetlejuice was not. I mean, at least
Not
to me.
anymore.
Yeah. Now that he's on eBay for like $350. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, overnight he switched up.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's true.
there's a
That's true,
demand
Fat
for it.
Batman. But guys, that's going to wrap it up. Let me end the poll now so we can get our results. Of course, the poll was Kenobi Vader versus Return of the Jedi Vader. Actually, very close, closer than I expected. 48% said Return of the Jedi. 52% said Kenobi Vader.
Oh, that's
Looks like
within the margin of
relatively
error.
split. Yeah, relatively split for sure. If we ran
It
that
wasn't.
poll,
You let it go on too long. It caught up.
no, it was, to be honest, it was at that for a while. I was just waiting to see if we got any last minute entries. But guys, as always, yeah, Chris, we're going to have to reconsider your place on this panel, man. I'm just joking. Guys, speaking of Chris, check out Collecting Madness. If you haven't already, he does have a video on that beautiful Lego Disney castle. And I think he's going to be doing another video because he just made a really big upgrade. And I won't spoil it for you guys. He made a really big upgrade that is really something else. It's really special. So definitely check out the channel. Subscribe to Collecting Madness. Also, guys, once again, if you haven't already, the giveaway is closing very soon for the Huntress premium format from the man, legendary Lane Kramer himself. The video is up in the live section on the channel. I know it's kind of hard to find, but it is up in the live section. So if you haven't entered, guys, it's very easy and you could win a really cool statue. So definitely head on over to that giveaway in the live section and enter if you haven't already. Guys, I got a lot of stuff coming. You got more reviews coming. I'm changing up. I'm sure you guys have seen, I'm trying to improve my quality of my reviews. I got some different stuff I want to try moving forward. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And I thank you so much, guys, for the support and all the reviews. Once again, big shout out to Mike for the 5 channel members. That really made my day. I appreciate that. And I know you guys appreciate it too. We got Cigars and Bacon and everybody, new channel members. But thank you so much, everybody, as always, for hanging out with us tonight. We very much appreciate it. Still 36 people watching. If you haven't already, on your way out, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the Hot Toys Hotline. I would very much appreciate it. Ian says your reviews are fantastic, Mankey, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. As always, links in the description to all the people that we support. Definitely check them out. There's a lot of great stuff. Great channels, great places to buy from. And if I don't talk with you, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And we'll see you next time.